Welcome to another episode of I Smell Smoke Podcast, the podcast about nothing but we talk about everything. Man, we got a special guest in the house tonight, but before we introduce her, we got at Noble Noah at the top. What's up, Noble Noah?
What's going on? What's going on? It's at Noble Noah on Instagram. Follow me at Noble _Noah on Instagram. Follow I Smell Smoke Podcast on Instagram. And we got another Friday show for y'all. We got T-More at the bottom.
Yeah, you already know, man. Y'all know me at off the top _media. I've been posting all week, giving y'all updates on the show. Posting content, giving y'all different topics to talk about. And yeah, y'all already know how this shit's going, man. Fancy game, my man. Noble Noah B-Day, man. You know what I'm saying? Got that on my happy B-Day, my boy.
Yeah, happy birthday, Noble Noah. Happy B-Day, sir.
Today's the day.
Thanks.
Oh, wow. Happy birthday.
You got that birthday glow going on up there. You look very, very, very brown skins up there. Hey, can you introduce our guest, Noble Noah?
Oh, yes. We have our guest coming in today, Flora. She's a dating coach, and she's here to give out some information to our audience about dating, attachment styles, and different ways that you can better yourself in while you're dating. Can you go ahead and give them where they can find you, your Instagram, your podcast name, and everything?
I'd love to. My name is Flora Ong. I am a dating coach and the founder of Redo Love. You can find me at Redo Love on Instagram, as well as www.redo.love. That's my website, and that's all I got. That's me.
All right. Like I said, it's a pleasure having you come on our show to really connect with our audience and really give your expertise in this tough dating world that we're in. I feel like for me and my co-host T-More at the bottom, we get a lot of flack because a lot of people feel like we're not qualified to really give our opinion on certain things because it may be a lack of experience in certain areas, or we just can't connect with what people really want to know from the dating style. So when I found your profile on Instagram and it said that you were a dating coach, then I figured that you would be more of a qualified person because you have done the research and put in the time and effort to really learn the different techniques, the in and outs of dating.
Yes.
And so I think the first thing that I saw when I came onto your page is you broke down the different types of attachment styles. As in, when you're a child, the attachment that you have with your parents to growing up to a relationship now with your significant other, how those two can parallel. So can you break down to our audience your attachment styles and what you have learned about that going forward from relationships and how that can affect your relationships depending on what attachment styles you are?
Yes. Okay, so your attachment style kind of dictates how you will function in relationship, and it is your love relationships are the closest parallel to your parental relationships. So that's why there's such a direct correlation between the two. And your attachment style is based on the emotional attunement you received as a child. So what does that mean? Emotional attunement refers to how your parents supported your emotional states, how they encouraged them, good and bad, and how they helped you to repair your emotional states. So if you got upset, they didn't tell you, stop crying, you're a big boy, right? They got down on their knee. They would say, what's wrong? What's going on? Okay, maybe we can do something about that. And, they would help you kind of deal with it rather than just shutting it down. And when your parents did that, you became a secure adult. And a secure adult in relationship is somebody who's comfortable with their emotions, comfortable expressing their emotions, and knows that if there's conflict in the relationship, that it's resolvable, right? They don't get afraid of conflict, right? They don't shut down when it comes to conflict. Now, if you have an insecure attachment style, there are 3 insecure attachment styles, and the first one we can go over is anxious attachment, right? Mm-hmm. So anxious attachment develops when there was an inconsistent care as a child. And sometimes your parents were available to you and sometimes they weren't. I, for example, have anxious attachment. My parents were immigrants. They weren't available all the time. They were working most of the time. And so when they were there, they were great. But then when they weren't there, I was freaking out, wondering where they were and wondering when they would ever come back. So you develop essentially a fear of abandonment, right? You develop this core wound that's a fear of abandonment. And when you grow up in your adult relationships, you start expressing that fear of abandonment. So every time your boyfriend doesn't text you, or every time the guy doesn't call, or, the girl, whichever, you start getting worried and nervous that they're never going to call and that they're going away forever. And you start kind of freaking out, right? And this tends to be like your crazy chick that, kind of over exaggerates when you're not calling, when you're not around. Maybe she's hyper jealous, and obviously this goes for men and women as well. I'm speaking to women because I am a woman, right? Then you have your avoidant attachment style, which develops when the parents were pretty neglectful typically. And so the parents didn't know how to help the child resolve their emotions. So the child essentially recognized that they couldn't depend on their parents at all for emotional support. And so they completely shut down their whole emotional centers. And they grew up and not needing validation from people, but getting validation from things, passions, interests. So these are they tend to be highly successful people. They tend to be charming and have a lot of friends, but not a lot of deep relationships. Mm-hmm. And they are the types that don't stay in relationship for longer than 2 or 3 months at a time. They tend to have lots of casual relationships. They tend to be your most likely to ghost types, right? That they will kind of bounce when things get a little bit heavy, and especially and specifically when it comes to anything emotional, right? They're as soon as somebody's like, oh, why don't we start dating seriously? They're like, no, thanks, I'm out, and they'll find excuses and reasons that there's something wrong with their partner, even when there's nothing really wrong, right? It's just a reason for them to leave because essentially they're so afraid of getting hurt that they would rather not experience the relationship at all. And then the last one is fearful avoidant. They're the smallest part of the population, and they probably more than likely were abused in childhood. And so they express both the anxious style and the avoidant style. So they can be very needy, but then they can also, as soon as they get what they want, they kind of pull back and they're uncomfortable about having it.
So yeah, I mean, so with you breaking down those attachment styles, like I said, there's many different types of attachment styles. So with the attachment styles, how is it something that people just have to learn and know how to deal with that? Or that is just something that people just have to find somebody that's like, okay, this is my attachment style. Can you deal with my attachment style? What is the best way to approach that?
Well, so everybody's better off with a secure partner, right? Because the secure partner is comfortable dealing with emotions, understand that they're responsible for their partners, and they are okay to give the anxious person more attention. They're okay to give the avoidant person more space. They kind of can manage without freaking out about stuff. So if you don't want to change your attachment style, find a secure partner. That's my recommendation. But yes, everybody has the opportunity to change their attachment style and move towards being more secure. It's called officially earned secure. And there's a process by which, you have to kind of unpack all the stuff that happened to you, why you've turned out this way, and then move towards security.
And so a lot of people saying when you unpack stuff, the best step to take is to go to therapy and discuss it with somebody to kind of get to the root of your problem, and then from there solve your problem. So is that something that you kind of give to your clients, or give to people that you speak to, that you may have to go to therapy and then I can help you in your dating process?
I think therapy is a great resource. It's not something that works for everybody. I did not do very well in therapy myself. Just, I felt like I was talking in loops, I was just like talking and talking and nothing was really getting resolved. And I've tried several times, to be honest, to go to therapy, but coaching and, doing a lot of this. So a lot of this stuff lives in the nervous system, right? So even when I found out about my attachment style and I was super anxious, I understood everything, totally got the information, right? But then I was still making the same mistakes, and I knew what I was doing wrong, and I knew why I was doing it, but I was still doing it, and I couldn't stop myself from doing it. And that's because a lot of this stuff lives in our nervous system, right? So when you are in a state of panic, you need to stop the panic, and you do whatever you need to do to stop the panic. And whether that means, in this case, like texting the guy, or, reaching out to somebody for the 15th time that already kind of told you to back off, but you can't because, you need to have that interaction kind of thing. It all is really, you think you're trying to have the interaction, but what you're really trying to do is calm your nervous system. And so I say this all to say that a lot of the work is in the body and in learning ways of managing your nervous system first, and then dealing potentially with some of the more emotional stuff.
And so during your process, like I said, you say you personally went to therapy. So during your process, what was the steps that finally got you, or what's the journey that you took to finally say, I want to be a dating coach? How did you come to that point in your life to say, I want to help other people in their dating process?
Well, I was such a mess. I got I got divorced, and then I started dating, and I hit the apps really hard. And it was like a new world, and it was super exciting, and I felt like I was exploring. I felt like I was exploring a whole new world, but I also started to see that I was making a lot of mistakes, and I was like, again, I would have these relationships where I would fall head over heels in love with the guy, or I thought I was head over heels, and we had gone on 3 dates, that's not really sensible, right? And so there was a part of my brain that knew it wasn't making sense, but still I had these feelings, And after the 5th guy that was happening with, I was like, there's something's wrong, something's not right. And it was like a lot of anxiety and a lot of pain and a lot of rumination and a lot of where I just felt like I couldn't stop thinking about these things. And it's very typical for anxious attachment too, to think about a guy or a date or whatever all the time, and then, I finally read the book Attached, which is the premier book on this stuff. It kind of started this whole conversation. It's called Attached by Amir Levine, and it was mind blowing. It basically laid out everything that I was doing and every way that I was feeling, and explains why. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not crazy, because I felt crazy. I felt like I was nuts after a while. And then once I got that side of it, then, like I said, I got it, I understood it, but I was still doing all the shit, right? I was still making all the mistakes. And then I found other types of work that dealt more with the subconscious side of things. And that is when the game really changed for me, when things really, really changed. My behavior changed, and when I really became a dating coach.
Hey, Ms. Flora, can I ask you a question?
Of course you can.
Do you think you keep continuously making those mistakes after you knew better? Do you think that because you wasn't properly healed yet?
Yes. Yes. I think it was because I wasn't properly healed, because I hadn't really dealt with the traumatic issues that led to me, feeling these things and acting
Mm-hmm.
this way.
Mm-hmm.
And but I didn't know how to deal with it. I knew where it came from, but I didn't know like how to heal it, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's where we all, I feel like we're all in that space to where we want to love somebody, and we want to put ourselves in an open position to love people, but I feel like that sometimes we don't take the time to really heal from our previous situations. We just try to pick ourselves up and move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly right. Exactly. And
Mm-hmm.
when you do that, what happens is all that stuff that's not dealt with packs into your subconscious,
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
right? And then
Mm-hmm.
it comes out like crazy, in a different situation that has nothing to do with that situation that you're not healed from, right? But suddenly you're yelling at somebody because they didn't take out the garbage, and they're like, "Well, why are you yelling at me?" I'll take out the garbage, chill,
Yeah.
But it's really about something, much deeper than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, once we get to that point, and like I said, me personally, I'm big on now self love and just
Mhm.
loving yourself. Once you love yourself to the fullest capacity, then you're able to go out and shed love to somebody else. Then
Right.
you're able to say, "I love myself enough that now I can
Mhm.
share this love of myself to somebody else." But I
Right.
feel like a lot of times that people look for other people to feel that love that they should have for themselves. They look that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we were taught, that relationships are 50-50, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is problematic because it means you're half until you meet the other side of you and then you become whole.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not really the case, right? And now there's, a lot of people are saying this, but I don't think it's as big as it should be. Like relationships need to be 100-100. Like I
Mm-hmm.
take
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
full responsibility for myself and my feelings and my emotions and my place in this relationship, and you should too, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's not me against you, and it's not me trying to be right in the relationship. It's us trying to work together towards a goal or resolve an argument, as a team
Mm-hmm.
rather than against each other, which often happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's definitely true. But I have a question too, dealing with your when you talk to people, helping them with their dating life. Do you tend to get more men that come to you, or you tend to get more women that come to you, or it's a mixture of both?
It is a mixture of both. It's definitely more women than men because women, they want to deal more often than men do. Men are taught, and quite frankly, it's like a societal thing, right? Men are taught to pack it away, not have emotion, and just move on with it. Where it's more acceptable for women to have emotion and to express it, and to want to deal with it. So yeah, there's definitely a lot more women, but I've coached like several men, and they've had the same experience.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
you got something to say too?
No, I was just about to say, yeah, that's basically what I was just saying last week when we was on the show too. That that's why after when after the situation, a failed situation happens, men usually take more time to really be by themselves and really really get to heal, and it takes it's a longer process for us to really get to a situation and really be like, okay, we're doing this, versus a woman would be like, well, I'm doing this, multiple times.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And then which a lot of times ends up getting them hurt.
it's true. But then there's the men, like my ex-husband, for example, went straight to another relationship and he's still in that relationship. There's a lot of men that just jump from relationship to relationship because they don't want to deal with their emotions at all. And they rather just, get to the next one and not have to face that pain.
Yeah, no, that's only because some people think that the best way to deal with it is to hide it.
To what?
I said some people think the best way to deal with it is to hide it.
Right.
Like the pain that they feel, so they'll run away from it.
Exactly. Right. And they run straight into somebody else or under somebody else or over somebody else. I don't know.
But so when a person, a man or a woman, because it is women too that tend to run away from their emotions, because I think women are painted as these emotional creatures a lot. And so men just expect sometimes that just women to express their emotion, but it's a lot of women. It's a lot of women that don't like to express emotion. They hate to feel vulnerable, and so it kind of puts them in a space too. If a man deals with a woman that doesn't express their emotions, and y'all both not trying to express your emotions, it's kind of a jam relationship as well. So,
well, it's like two avoidance together, and like two avoidant attachment styles won't make it because neither one cares enough to make the effort, or you know what I mean. Neither one is gonna break. So two avoidant people tend to not stay in a relationship.
Yeah. Or if they, and so basically what you're saying is they won't stay in that relationship, but then they will find another relationship to jump into. Just
Right.
the relationship didn't work.
Right.
Yeah.
And so another interesting thing on this like side that happens is, okay, so the avoidant attachment style likes to be alone, needs space, and doesn't want to feel the pressure of being needed or being responsible for anyone, right? The anxious attachment style likes to be close all the time, likes to be in touch all the time, and wants to be enmeshed as much as possible with the other person. And what happens is these two end up finding each other because subconsciously, you know, you've heard of like trauma bonding, or, you know, these typically like kinds of toxic relationships. So our subconscious seeks the familiar. So even though we're raised with these insecure attachment styles, meaning we don't like that, we like an anxious person wants love all the time, but they receive love inconsistently, right? Sometimes they had it, sometimes they didn't. Sometimes they had it, sometimes they didn't. So even though they don't like that, because the subconscious seeks the familiar, they look for it in other people. Even though consciously they're like, I want somebody who's going to be around all the time. I want somebody who's going to be available. They seek the familiar, which is this inconsistency. And who gives them this inconsistency? The avoidant person, right? That's in for a bit, but then like, don't get too close to me, but then I'll come back, but don't get too close to me. And so these two people with completely opposite needs,
they attract.
They attract each other. And there is most of your toxic relationships.
Oh, okay. Right. I got you.
And so that's what we noticed too, that a lot of people are attracted to toxic situations. So when you're dealing with people that they're comfortable in toxic situations, they would prefer to be in a toxic situation instead of being in a comfortable, a growing, loving situation. Is it a way for them to, well, what is the proper way for them to kind of get out of that toxic way and find a way to get into a loving and growing situation? Is it therapy? Is it just them learning about themselves? What is the best method for them to do that?
Ultimately, every insecure attachment style has an issue with self-worth, right? Like they don't believe ultimately that they're worthy of love because whatever happened when they were kids, right? Whichever version.
Okay.
And so you need to heal that part of yourself, right? And understand on a subconscious level, because again, consciously, all these people that are in toxic relationships are saying out loud, I want to be in a relationship. I want it to be healthy. I don't want to fight all the time, right? But what are they doing? They're fighting all the time anyway, right? And it's because they're comfortable there. And their like subconscious is comfortable there. Oh, here's my order. Can I put you guys on hold for a second? Can we do a commercial?
No, we definitely can. Go ahead.
Hold on 1 second.
But yeah, I mean, so from that, butter, I mean, I just feel like basically what she's saying in simple terms is that opposites attract.
Yeah, that's facts.
The opposites
Yeah,
attract. They
Hey,
cling.
but I always say that people want what they can't have. I mean, no, how you say opposite attract? You know what I'm saying? People want what they can't have, man. We all do.
Yeah, they every or they look at it as
they
a
just want something different.
mhm.
Okay,
You
okay, that
know,
might be it
something,
too. Yeah, you're right,
something
Timo.
different. Something, they something that if they feel like, well, I'm this way, I need somebody to balance it out. I don't need somebody that's just like me. So it's like that's basically, I feel like what people really be aiming at most of the
Hey,
time.
hey, but do you think most of these problems come from people just wanting to be with somebody? People just that scared to be lonely. I mean, scared to be single.
Mm. Yeah, that, but I also feel like too that a lot of people just like that excitement. A
Mm.
lot of people like maybe being by themselves to them is lonely. So I get a partner that's kind of mentally unstable or got issues and stuff like that. It makes my life interesting now. Now my life is like this roller coaster. So like I said, some people they don't want to be. Some people don't want to be lonely and single, and some people just be bored.
Okay, okay.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah,
Who's bored?
Uh, people. So well, basically, I was breaking down. What was the question that you asked, Butter?
Oh, I'm over here smoking.
Oh yeah.
You don't remember.
Hey, Timo, you remember what I
I
asked him, Timo?
I couldn't do
think
this if
he,
I
I
was
think he
smoking.
basically, no, I think he basically asked if he feel like most of the people that go through issues like this are afraid to be single.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. My bad. I don't even know how I didn't remember. Thank you, Timo.
Yeah, and I was just saying that I don't. I think that some people are afraid to be single, and then some people they're bored. Like being in a toxic relationship is exciting to them. They like
Mhm.
that roller coaster up and down, so they would rather
Exactly.
have that excitement roller coaster up and down instead of being by themselves lonely and bored. So I
Yeah.
plays a factor too. What do you think, Flora?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, what you don't recognize, again, this is so subconscious, right? Like in our conscious minds, we want all the right things, but subconsciously, we don't even like ourselves a lot of the time. You're talking about self-love, right?
Uh-huh.
Like we don't even know ourselves. We don't spend enough time with ourselves. We're constantly bombarded with not just media and television and friends and going out. And that's why COVID was such a big deal for a lot of people, right? Because now you were just like stuck by yourself without without the same distractions that you had before, and so a lot of people don't even like themselves. So therefore they go out and seek the distraction of somebody else so they don't have to deal with themselves and their issues and their trauma and their pain and their discomfort, and it's much easier to be with somebody and have somebody take your mind off that stuff than
There
to
you go.
sit in the emotion of it, right?
Yeah. Basically, that's basically why. Like a lot of people, I feel like people that's afraid to show their emotions, they use any and everything they can to distract them from sitting down and saying, "This is what I'm going through. This is what I'm."
Right.
So they'll use
Right.
any other outside distraction, whether that's your partner, your child,
Mhm.
whatever it is that you can use to say, "Let me put this in front of my face, so I don't have to sit there and focus on the trauma and pain that I'm dealing with."
Right.
So no, I
Yeah.
definitely agree to that.
Mhm.
But the next thing, because on this show, on this show floor, as you can see, it's a panel of three men. So
Yeah.
so, so we normally voice the man's side of a
Uh-huh.
lot of different things. So
Okay.
so we normally have to bring on female guests to really
Uh-huh.
get the females point of view of what they think about certain situations and certain things going on.
Okay.
Now, you being a dating coach, you said that a lot of females come to you and ask for dating advice or how they should move in their dating life.
Right.
As men, we have came to the conclusion that females' expectations of men are through the roof. They're through the ceiling universe or what? It's way out there. They way out.
Mhm.
As a dating coach, hearing women come to you and talk to you about what they're looking for a man, what they want a man to do, how they want a man to come. Do you feel like a woman's expectations for a man is too high, or you feel like what they're asking for is in their reach?
So what's funny is I'm also a matchmaker.
Oh,
I don't know if you know that.
Okay.
ChristianMingle.com.
Okay.
Hey, no, I'm just playing, Flo.
First of all, I'm Jewish, but that's a side note.
No. I was just playing. No.
I know. But I work for a wonderful company called 3-Day Rule. And I get to hear women's desires all the time. And, ultimately, I think if a woman is made to feel safe and stable.
Yeah, we get that a lot. Yeah, we heard that a lot.
Yeah, then the other stuff is not necessarily as important if there's a real base of safety and stability, right? And that does translate usually into financial, some sort of financial stability, right? And safety, obviously, but emotional safety. I'm not just talking about like physical safety, obviously, right? Like emotional safety. The thing I think in general with relationships that is problematic is that we have been taught and expect our husbands, boyfriends, partners to be everything to us. They're supposed to be our friends. They're supposed to be our fixer around the house. They're supposed to be, they're supposed to work and make the money. They're supposed to, help us take care of the kids. They're supposed to be, part of our friend group. They're just supposed to be everything. And like, how the hell can one person be everything?
That's what we saying.
Yeah, it's unrealistic, but I think it goes a lot of the times both ways. And yeah, it is like generally problematic, and I do think it is a little unfair on men. I think especially younger women. I think when you get older, you start to learn and realize that you don't have to put everything on your partner, but when you're younger, like in your 20s, I think that there's a lot of unrealistic expectations that are going around for sure.
Mm-hmm. And so do you normally tell women to, what is your advice to women that you feel like their expectation is too high? Do you tell them to kind of, do you try to bring it back to reality, or you try to give them another way to look at it, or what's your best way to approach that situation?
Yes, I do try and give them another way to look at it. And, ultimately my brand is called Redo Love, right? Because the whole idea is to redo this concept of love, that there is the idea of the one. First of all, I don't believe in that either. And second of all, that, your partner is supposed to be everything. You are supposed to be everything that you need. And then you find somebody who wants to walk the journey with you for whatever length of time, or you enjoy and they enjoy you, and you learn from each other and grow from each other, right? Like that is my view of relationship expectation, what should be your expectation. And so I do try to lead people down the path of in that direction, right? Some people are more open to it than others,
I think they say you can only lead people there. You can't
make them drink.
you can't make it.
All right.
But I'm glad that you mentioned early in your statement as that you don't believe in the soulmate aspect of a relationship, and that was going to be my next question, because I did hear you speak about that you don't really believe in the soulmate, and you also spoke about the twin flames, and how that works together. And so like my question to you is just like, it, like, to me, and I said this on the podcast myself, I said, when you married to somebody for 20, 30 years, like, it's a lot of give and take in that. It's a lot of give and take in that. And I can see after a while being married to somebody 20, 30 years, it's either y'all can either say that this is what it is, we're just gonna hold on to the bond that we got forever, or y'all just gonna go y'all separate ways. And I know that you noticed in the time that you've been dealing with, that you've seen a lot of married couples that's been 20, 30 years and that just went separate ways. And so what is your take on that? Because you say you don't believe in soulmates, so you just think that it's a time and place for every relationship, or how would you describe it?
Well, I mean, I don't mind the term soulmate as long as you believe in more than one soulmate in a lifetime, right? Like there could be many soulmates, like, you know, in your lifetime. And for me, what relationships are there, somebody comes into your life to mirror to you where you're actually at, right? So, and when I say where you're at, it's not to say where you're at physically, you know, right now, it's to say where your subconscious worth is at. So if I say that I want to date an actor in Hollywood, I want to date Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt or whomever, right? Who am I? Where am I in my life that I can even go there? Do you know what I'm saying? Like
that's what we dealing with.
Right. It's yeah. And it's unrealistic. And it's not to say I couldn't get there, right? But it would be a lot of work on my part to even feel comfortable in those circles that, you know, that then, and not to mention be noticed by this person. Forget how I look and, you know, all that stuff. I'm just saying inside of myself, right? Like the comfort level that I would have going into that, you know, into those circles. And so, so anyway, people, if you want to know how you feel about yourself, or if you want to know if any given person, how they feel about themselves, look at their lives and look what's around them, you know? Like, are they succeeding in the things that they want to be doing? Are they in a happy, healthy relationship that's calm and, you know, like nice and easy? Are they, you know, are they doing well in school? Look at their apartment. What does it look like? Is it like a complete mess and you can't even walk in there? You know, all of these, look at their body and their, you know, how they take care of themselves, right? Like, are they making an effort? All of these things are a reflection of how people really feel about themselves in their subconscious. And so are the relationships that you have, you know? So if you're with somebody who is really mean to you and curses at you, and I was, you know, then that's how you feel about yourself. You don't feel you're worth more than that, right? So in terms of like relationships, I feel everybody comes into your life as a mirror in order to help you grow. And when you've gotten everything out of each other that you possibly can, it's time to move on to the next thing. And maybe that happens in 5 years, maybe that happens in 20 years. Maybe, you know, you can continue to grow together forever. Who knows? But that's less likely, right?
Hey, ain't that the goal though, Miss Flora? To grow together forever.
To who? Whose goal is it?
I mean, but that's I think that's what society has painted on us, is that we're going to find this one person and we're going to spend our whole life together. And I think that's been a fairy tale for men and women. Just find this one person and spend the rest of your life together. But what now, really looking into stuff and really breaking down dating and lifestyle and all that and all them different elements of it, a lot of this stuff just doesn't make sense. Like it just doesn't make sense that you will just find this person that will you can just spend the rest of your life with without it being a waiver, or, you know, after 10 years, you know, we grow apart, or 20 years, we may grow apart. Like, you really have to have a partner that you consistently growing with over the years. And y'all both have to grow. Neither one of you is stagnant. So and I'm really on your side to be like, it may be a soulmate for that time. Right. You have soulmates for every stage in your life.
Exactly.
And so, but like I said, society kind of may frown upon that, but that's maybe what it is, because if you growing and developing every year, every time, and your partner staying the same, you're gonna basically outgrow your partner. Right. But you may leave that partner and find somebody else that's on your level at that time, and then y'all get together. Then it's a complete cycle. So
it's a whole, I mean, I can't really go into this conversation too deeply because I don't know enough about it, but it really, I'm not somebody who could be polyamorous, but I understand it more and more, you know, the more that I like do this work, the more that I broaden my horizons around this stuff, the more I understand how it could really work. Because there's so much honesty that has to happen in those types of relationships, right? That we don't get in regular monogamous relationships, right? You don't have to tell your partner everything, and you can hide a lot of things, where in a polyamorous relationship, in order for it to work, you can't hide how you feel about like little things, and everything is discussed up front, and everything is, talked about. And then plus you do get the experience of being with other people 10 years down the road, or, so you don't get stagnant and necessarily, and you don't get bored. But again, I don't know if I'm with my anxious attachment style, if I could do it.
Yeah, no.
But
I don't know who can. You gotta have tough skin for that one.
Yeah. But people do, and I think we're all recognizing that the idea of a lifetime monogamous partner is less and less realistic.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, I do feel like it's getting less and less realistic. I don't know if it's like the fantasy, the fairy tale. It just like it still feels like you want it to work,
right?
It's like it's dealing with fantasy and reality. That
exactly.
If you really break it down and think about it, it's the less likely chance of you staying with somebody 20, 30 years and you just being with that one person. It ain't. It's real. You really have to have a strong bond with that person. Not saying that it can't work, because like I said, a lot of people married 20, 30 years. And like I said, a lot of people forget that when people get married 20, 30 years, they go through a lot of things. It's not a happy-go-lucky environment. Sometimes they at war with each other. So you got to be willing to go through hell and back with the person that you really want to spend that lifetime with. And people not really put that time and work in.
Totally. 100%. I mean, listen, my grandparents were married for 60 years.
Woo.
They hated each other for a long, long period. They hated each other for at least 10 to 15 years. They hated each other. And then my grandmother got sick and my grandfather took care of her, and all was like well and wonderful. But, do you want to spend 10 years of your life, 15 years of your life kind of hating the person that you sleep in bed with every night?
No.
No,
It's Flo, it's crazy that you said that, because I was like raised sometimes by my great grandparents, and they was married for like over 50 years, but they slept in separate rooms. My grandfather had the littlest room in the house. My grandmother had the biggest room in the house. You know what I'm saying? But they were still married. They still talked to each other. You know what I'm saying? They fussed at each other a lot, but they still was, stayed with each other until the end.
Yeah, because that's what, I think a lot of it developed societally for reasons that it needed to, right? Like you needed that community, you needed to have that partner for life, for whatever reason. But now we don't need these things anymore. And I think we're all changing our views on this little by little. And the younger generations, Generation Z is crazy. They have all these crazy views about things, that are really different from ours. But I think it's cool because there's just a lot more openness and a lot more acceptance and, a lot more wiggle room, right, to play around and see what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, I really think, and I'm glad you brought it up about, this newer generation. I think the older generation, they had the blueprint that we together, we're going to be married for 10, 20, 30, however long it is. Even if I hate this person right next to me,
right,
you're going to be the person right next to me.
Yeah.
The generation is finding different elements to be like, well, no, I don't have to stay with you. I can do this, or I can try this, or we can try a different type of arrangement. So I think the new generation is opening up new elements to people to say, we don't have to do the old-fashioned format anymore. We can try different things. See if this can either enhance our relationship with that person, or can we go into a different direction? Well, it's not them. Let me find somebody else that I can grow later on down the road with too. So
but y'all know the old saying: you either grow together or you grow apart. You know what I'm saying? That's what relationships do.
Yeah. And another part of the problem is that there's no acceptance when a relationship is towards the end. People feel like it's a failure, and they
Right.
try to correct things or stay together just in order to not feel like a failure.
Mhm.
Right? Not because the relationship is great, not because they're happy, but because they're so worried about failing to themselves. They're worried about failing to their friends. They're worried about failing to society. They're worried about failing their kids. But you know, in staying in an unhealthy relationship, you're failing anyway, right?
Mhm.
It's just our society has made it so, oh, if you stay together, then you're winning,
Mhm.
you know, which is not really the case, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
especially if you're pretending.
yeah.
So a lot of pretending.
Yeah, definitely, like I said, and that's why I'm still like just when you say your grandparents married 60 years and 15 and they hated each other. Like one thing to dislike, but just to be like, I can't stand the side of your face. It just yeah.
But it was
But
like
that's
that. Like there
but
was
that's
like
how
that. Yeah.
that's how a lot of them a lot of it is. That's why I always say like if you are married 15, I mean I say 15, if you married like 50 years, can you are you willing to sacrifice 10 bad ones, but y'all had 40 good ones? You know what
I
I'm saying?
mean,
Even
yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, like it's gonna be that way. Y'all ain't gonna always be on. It's gonna be times where y'all really where y'all relationship is tested, where y'all
Totally.
really what I'm saying, trying to work through certain shit. So
Yeah.
can you get past it? Or I'm saying, even if it ain't 10 consecutive years, if y'all had 2 bad years, then it went back to being good, and now y'all facing another test. You know what I'm saying? Can y'all get through this test now? There's a lot of trials and tribulations, along the road. You know
And
Yeah,
what I'm
no,
saying?
yeah, no, yeah. That sounds like building. That sounds like building. You know what I'm saying? At least you
Mm,
say or the mistakes 2 years apart. You might can build on that. You know what I'm saying? They can't be every other month though.
but to me, Floor, and this is why, like when I speak to women, and a lot of women, like you just said earlier, say, well, I like this man because he makes me feel safe. I feel secure, or he's financially this, financially that. A lot of stuff that women speak about men, it has nothing to do with the essence of the man. Like
mm-hmm.
it's nothing about that certain man that they just like he has this, and this is why I'm with him. It's all the counterparts that go with him. And when you think about it, when women explain it, that when you don't have a certain thing about a man that you really love, it can be any man in that position, as long as he has them certain things that you're looking for, he can be that guy. And
It's you're saying something really, really interesting, actually. And so, as a matchmaker, right? What I hear a lot from women is I want somebody who makes like as much money as me or above, and I want him, whatever, maybe to be educated and then they want a partner and all this stuff. When men tell me what they want, they don't care at all what the woman does for a living, right?
mm-hmm.
And they just want they just want somebody who has a passion or has an interest, has their own life in one way or another, right? And so what's interesting too about that is when women are presenting themselves as, and as a candidate, a lot of times they lead with, well, I'm a doctor and I'm super successful, and that's why you should date me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what does that have to do with dating?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is that mentality that like women are looking for a certain thing, and now they're becoming those things too, right? Like they're becoming the doctor, they're becoming the lawyer, they're now successful business women. But they're now forgetting the essence of relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
I low key, like when you break it down like that, it low key puts me in the mind of that women are becoming the man that they want.
Yes.
That's what it low key puts me in the mind of. It's just like, this is the man I want. I'm gonna be the man. Like if I want a doctor or I want a man, I'm gonna make a lot of money. I'm gonna be the doctor.
Right.
And it's like, and then at that point, it defeats the purpose. It defeats the purpose of having that man. It defeats the purpose. If you the man, then how are you able to get a man to be the man if you already fill in the role of the man?
Well, that is a big part. Are you guys on Clubhouse?
I think
Okay.
We have Clubhouse.
Lots of discussions about this stuff on Clubhouse, you know. That yeah, I mean, the men don't feel needed anymore. When a woman is that high powered, when a woman is that successful, when a woman acts as though she doesn't need a man, right? Because you're right, she's become the man she's always wanted. Then it leaves no place for the man, and she wants the man to be the masculine guy still, right? Because women still, all these women that I speak to really want a masculine man that's going to take charge, is going to lead. But how can you lead somebody who's acting like a leader, right? And whose role in life is to be a leader anyway. And so there's like all this discussion about the masculine, feminine, and how to get more into your feminine, and how to leave the work at work and allow your man to lead. But it's also causing another problem, like this upgrading of women in society in general, in that because women want men that are at their level of success or above, it makes their pool a lot smaller. Whereas since men don't care about what a woman does, they'll be, you know, super successful, high-powered guy up here, but they'll date a waitress. They don't care, right? But a woman that's up here is probably not going to date a waiter.
So do you feel like that? Cause I hear a lot of women say that. How do a man expect to be the head of the household, or how does he expect to lead if we're paying 50-50 on the bills?
It's a mindset shift, right? It has to be a mindset shift, because to the point we're discussing, I mean, ultimately, relationship, like, you want to feel a certain way, right? You want to feel like you're protected. You want to feel like you're safe, like we talked about, and stable. But that doesn't necessarily have to come with money. It's just the way that we've, again, societally been programmed is to think that, you know, money means security. And that's what has always been attributed to the man. So if we can break that thinking a little bit, then, I mean, who kind of sort of cares who pays? You know, when once you're in relationship and all that, you know, I get the idea that, like, listen, I'm saying all this and I'm the most like old-fashioned girl.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel.
But this is the subconscious stuff, right? And I, you know, I recognize it. I know that this was built into me. I was like born, taught this way. You know, we were all lived in the Disney generation of like princesses and princes and the whole thing. And so I know that that's why I feel the way I do. But
I was gonna bring that up. I didn't want y'all to laugh at me. I was gonna bring up Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast. Y'all know all them stories. Y'all know them stories. I'm glad you brought it up, so I don't look so bad.
Of course, I mean, it's, you know, it's the Disneyfication of like romance and of our society. It's just it's not realistic. But again, when you're 3 and your brain is a sponge and you're watching Cinderella, this becomes ingrained, and you watch it over and over and over again, like kids do, right? It becomes ingrained in your subconscious. Like now it just lives inside of you that this is the norm, you know, that some prince is going to come and save you. Take
somehow,
you
some way, the way this went, this is going to be the end of my story.
Right.
Now my story's going to go, wow. Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, I got it. No, I'm there with you, Miss Flo. I'm there with you. That's crazy. But so it's something that's been planted in us as we was little.
Right.
So that's why we still carry trace of it now.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it lived. You know how you have you heard the I don't know, the thing that we only use 10% of our brains. So the rest of the brain is the subconscious.
Okay.
That's the other 90%. It's the stuff that you don't know, right? Like, you know that you know what you know, and you know what you don't know, right? Like, you know that you can't be a doctor or a lawyer because you don't have those skills. So you know that you don't know that, right? But then there's the 90% of that you don't know what you don't know at all. And all that stuff, well, every time you have some sort of like trigger or reaction or something or pattern in your love life or at work or wherever, with friends, that is telling you that there's some sort of subconscious issue that needs to be resolved. Right?
Hey, Ms. Flora, can I ask you a question? Since you deal with a lot of women that you be talking to, but just a percentage, you don't got to tell me, accurate number. How many percentage of them women come in when they talk to you and say they got work boyfriends?
I don't get that.
Okay. No, I just wanted to ask that, though. I had to, CC Nova, no, I had to sneak that in there, Nova.
What, does your girlfriend have a work boyfriend?
No. On the show, we went watching a lot of clips where women been saying they got work boyfriends, and some women that been on the show that we had said it's okay to have a work boyfriend, you just can't take it too far.
I mean, sure, right? Like, we're all human. We all like to flirt a little bit or like lean on somebody a bit. And this is
okay, Miss Flora. Okay, Miss Flora.
But this is what I was saying earlier too. It's like you can't expect your partner to be everything to you, So I don't personally think there's anything wrong with a little like fun flirtation at work. Like, again, not taking it too far and not crossing lines and not being inappropriate.
But Miss Flora, what is that though? Not taking it too far, not stepping over the line.
Touching is probably taking it too far.
I mean,
okay, but you can say anything.
I mean,
you can say anything as long as you don't touch. I'm gonna ask you a question.
I mean, maybe not everything.
I mean, I think what Flora is really trying to get at is just that when you're in a relationship with your significant other, whether because I said it's not a woman. Men go through this too. When you with your woman for a long time or you with your man for a long time, sometimes you want to feel like you still able to attract somebody else. Not saying that you want to do something with somebody else, but just saying that you're able to get attention and hold a conversation, or hold a type of a relationship with somebody else outside of my significant other. And sometimes it makes people feel good about themselves.
Yeah. But nothing wrong with a little ego boost. But, I think that also the term work boyfriend can be taken too far. And it's always a case by case thing. Do you know what I mean? I had a work boyfriend. He had a girlfriend. We were very friendly and like nothing but, respect and fun. But there was never anything inappropriate, but.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's just how you handle the situation. Like I said,
right.
Some people get in too deep, and then
some people get in too deep. Right. So part of that would be having a very insecure attachment style, right? And stepping over the line because you don't know where the line is. And as an anxious person, you seek external validation. So much so that you would be willing to compromise your relationship just to get a little bit extra validation, from an outside source.
What's that? That's the 80-20 rule?
What do you mean?
That's when you get the 20%, or you get the 20% from that one person that you feel like you need, and then you give up the 80% that your partner is giving you.
I haven't heard that.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
That's what they say. Like when you that's basically like when you move on from your like if you have a side girlfriend, your side girlfriend is just giving you either like good sex or conversation like that, and then you introduce your wife that's handling your kids and doing major stuff in your life for that little bit of stuff. So
right.
So it is thing. Yeah, definitely look that up too.
I will for sure.
But one last question. Last question before we close you out. What advice what's the main advice that you give men, and what's the main advice that you give to women to better their dating life? As in, what can they do to get out of their own way to find a good dating, healthy relationship?
Get out of your own head and don't be afraid to be vulnerable. And it's really hard to do. It's honestly, like, even sometimes to express like your most basic needs. Like, I'd like for you to call me a little more and text me a little more. Like, even saying that to somebody could be so hard, you know? But it weeds out the people that won't, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when we're very desperate for a relationship, we're afraid that somebody will leave because of our needs, but we don't recognize that they're doing us a favor.
Mm-mm.
Right? Like, yeah, great. I said that you don't want to do that. You're gone. Great. You're opening space so that somebody else can, you know, who will come through. And people don't have that mindset around it. They have a lack mentality. They think, oh, you like me. I've met somebody who likes me, so I'm just going to hold on to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And they'd rather be in something than be alone. And it doesn't matter the quality of that something. Sometimes, you know.
So basically, you're saying, don't settle, and it's okay to be vulnerable with your partner.
Yes. Yes. Practice vulnerability.
Practice vulnerability. I think that's definitely a good one. That a lot of people scared of vulnerability. So that's definitely a good one. Well, Miss Flora, sorry. I've been trying all show.
You're so good.
Well, Flora, like I said, we really appreciate you coming on the show and giving us insight into the insides and outs of attachment styles, breaking down what's the best way to approach different attachment styles, and breaking down the dating life. How can we go about making ourselves more of a dateable option and more of a dateable person going into the future? So we will really appreciate you coming on our podcast. And like I said, if you would go ahead and give out your information to our audience again, where they can follow you and check out your podcast.
Thank you, Flora.
Thank you, guys. This has been great.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. I forgot to ask what attachment styles you guys are. You'll have to send me.
Actually, I took mine.
What is it?
I took the quiz. My attachment. Let me see.
Oh, you were secure because you posted it, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You were secure. All right.
I knew that. I was secure attachment style. I say, oh yeah, that sounds about right. I see that.
What about you guys? Did you take, or did any of the descriptions I say resonate for you?
Nah, we ain't take the test yet, but I know I'm secure. Ma'am.
Sure.
Yes, ma'am. Flora, I am secure.
I believe it.
But like I said, go ahead and give.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm Flora Ong. You can find me at redo.love on Instagram, and www.redo.love is my website. And that's pretty much me.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, we definitely enjoy you coming on. You definitely have enlightened us and give us more information. Now people can stop giving us flack about giving us information and it not being. We brought people, a qualified person, done the research, that knows what's going on. So like I said, we really appreciate you, and like I said, we can definitely have you on the show again.
That's facts. If you want to,
I'd love that, and we can talk about some more fun stuff. Next time, not so serious. You can tell me all about your dating problems, and I'll solve them for you.
Okay.
Free of charge.
Free of charge.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? I need a little counseling. I need some counseling. I just thought of it just now.
but yeah, we definitely that'll be interesting. Episode for another one on our podcast. We
definitely
take you up on that. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And we'll definitely get you back on another podcast as soon as we can figure one out.
Awesome. All right, guys, this was great. Thank you, and have a good night.
Okay, you too.
Bye.
You too.
Yeah, man. She was.
Y'all.
That was good.
But the only thing, hey, we got another guest in the back. We're not gonna keep her waiting. Somebody introduce her.
Okay, go ahead, bring her on.
Okay, now.
Okay.
Hold on now. Coffee. I like coffee. It's like, we about to get her all down, y'all. How you doing, Coffee?
Good. How y'all doing?
What's going on? How you feeling tonight?
Y'all can hear me? Because I'm using my iPad today.
Yeah, we
No,
get
you good. You good. You definitely
Okay.
Definitely
How you? So what's going on with you? How you feeling tonight?
I'm doing well, just
That's good.
relaxing.
Yeah. We got Miss Kendra from Coffee with Kendra podcast. You can go ahead and give the people your social platforms. Let them know where they can go. Look into your stuff. And let them know whatever you got coming.
Okay, so hey everybody, I'm Kendra from Coffee with Kendra, and you guys can find me mainly on Instagram, but I am trying to push towards being more active on YouTube. So I'm on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok sometimes.
okay.
all right. Well, Kendra. Me personally, I have come across a lot of your lives and in passing just in the podcast community, and I heard a lot of your statements on a lot of different things. Uh, I I'm I,
It's
I
the
I don't know.
statements for
I'm
me.
on like I'm trying to. I'm a figure out type of person. I got a figure person, and you on the fence right now. I'm like on one side, she hit me with all the good points, and then she just come with something left field. And I said, "Well, I wasn't expecting that." So it's so I got some topics that I've heard that you express interest in that I really want to get, your feel and how did you come to feel like that about these certain topics that we have going on. But before we start that, I need to know because it's gonna help me kind of figure out who Kendra is a little bit. What is your zodiac sign?
Okay, well, I like to have fun with this, so I'll give all of y'all one guess.
Mm.
I
Is
mean,
that okay?
I don't know. Y'all feel like you showed us enough for us to really guess.
No?
I mean, well, at least maybe Noah. He's more into it than I am.
Y'all too? Noah?
Oh, I
Yeah. I'll take a guess, but I really don't know about the horoscope stuff. I'm gonna say
Mm.
Capricorn.
Okay,
I'm gonna say Aries.
okay. You gonna give it a try or no?
Uh, Libra.
Nope. I'm a Virgo.
Oh,
All of
okay.
y'all
How
was
about?
wrong.
I was close
Oh,
though.
Virgo.
Hey, hold on. What that mean? You close, Seymour? You still wrong, like the rest of us.
I'm
Still
still, I'm
wrong.
still, I was
Uh,
still like in that same
uh.
month time frame.
Oh, okay. So you was closer. Okay. So you was in the area.
Hmm.
Well, I got.
I can see
Yes,
I
Virgo
a
gang.
little bit now. It's kind of okay. It's kind of helping me understand you a little bit better now. Okay, okay. So the first question or the first topic, like this is not just for Kendra. This for everybody. We're gonna break this down. Mm. So this week we've basically been having a lot of videos, a lot of posts and stuff about women approaching men
Mm-hmm.
and women feeling like they don't need to approach a man, or that's the man's job to approach, or you're not a real man if you don't feel like if you feel like a woman should approach you. And so the topic of the topic or the question that we're going to start it off with is, should women approach men more to get a man or to keep a man? I'm gonna let Butter go first on that one.
Hold on. Say the last part again. You say should they
Should
do what to keep a man or say it again?
should women approach men more, as in should they approach a man to meet a man, and should they engage a man as in to keep them, as in once they get to a point they don't say, okay, I'm gonna let you go, I'm gonna do what it needs to take to say, okay, I want you here.
I think I'm gonna take the first one. If they just start, you know, just let you know more that they want you, then that'll work.
Mhm.
They don't gotta keep the whole conversation. 'Cause I think after that, your man, your hunting skills gonna kick in, and then you're gonna do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm thinking if a woman showing you and you know it and you know it, you supposed to after a while you supposed to say
Yeah.
something as being a man, or you just missed that opportunity because a woman only gonna go but so far.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what I think.
Nah, I agree with you. Like, what's it called? I mean, if they put themselves more out there, that's gonna definitely make the man. Because we already say we natural hunters. So
Mm-hmm.
when she's definitely showing the signs that she's interested, and you see that okay, that she's making herself available, putting herself
Mm-hmm.
right there, so she like trying to show you signs. We gonna naturally like okay, we already know what this is. All
Mm-hmm.
right, let's go ahead. We either gonna make our move or we just gonna like nah, we ain't with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I feel like I don't really see the issue with it.
Kendra, go ahead. What's your take on it?
So I feel like absolutely not. I just kind of feel like, and I know that people are not really in agreement of this, but I really believe in women, stand in their place, for lack of a better word. Like, and I don't feel like it's a woman's role to go out hunting her man. And to the degree of I'm gonna walk up to you, I'm gonna approach you, and I'll, let you know I'm interested in you and ask for your contact. I'm not going to do that. What I
Uh-huh.
will do is I will smile at you and, get in your presence, spark conversation, maybe see if we have anything interest. Um, you know, ask you open-ended questions like, I really love hiking. Like, do you hike on Saturday? Like, I don't know, I'm
Okay.
gonna like try to open the
Uh,
door for you to court me. But I'm not in all at all for about women shooting their shots. I'm just not with that at all.
okay, but you are for putting yourself in position
Okay.
Yes, I am for
for a
opening
man to
yourself and
take his
putting
shot.
yourself in position to court me and
For the
take a
man
shot.
to take his shot. Okay.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
Most women, that's how most women move, though. You could say y'all put yourself, y'all famous for putting yourself in that position where it's like where y'all just y'all do stuff hoping that we get the hint. Hoping that we get the
Yeah,
hint. And then,
and sometimes it's not good enough, but hey, I feel like if you're a man, just like y'all said, if you're a hunter, if you want me, come and get me. I got you. If you once you see me and you know you want me, then come and get me. I shouldn't need to be doing all this extra stuff. But if you are unaware of my presence,
what's
then it's
extra?
my job to make myself aware. Like I need to make sure you see me.
So sparking conversation with them is extra.
No, sparking conversation is fine. I'm not gonna directly say, "Hey, I think you're cute. Do you want to call me?" Like I'm not gonna do that.
There you go, Coffee. I got you though.
I got a lot of me personally. I have a lot of different mixed feelings on this topic. For one, I do feel like as a man, if it's a woman out there that you want, you would go through the necessary things to get that woman.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, there I have no problem with a man going after he wants. But my issue comes into now is just like, I feel like it has become a luxury for women. It has become a thing to where now women are getting used to men shooting a shot. Women are getting to the point where it's almost you see him trying to holler at me. Oh, I got this guy. Like it's to the point now. It's almost getting taken for granted. As women really still they're not appreciating the man because it's so many men that they're not really taking the time to really appreciate what the man has to go through to shoot a shot at a woman. A woman be quick to say, "Oh, he don't got no game," or "Why he approached like that," or "Why he did like that," or "Why." And then it gets to a point like you start look back at the woman and say, as a man, you don't know how hard it is for us to come up whatever we come up with to say to y'all. Y'all don't understand how hard it is for us to do that. And for y'all to come back and throw it in our face with all these different jokes or why you can get me and all this different stuff, it's not necessary. So at a certain point, me as a man, I look at women, I'm like, y'all do understand that we're not approaching y'all, ain't nothing happening. Because as women, y'all refuse to approach. And I feel like the woman's approach of, well, I think that's the man's job to approach. I think women go through the same thing men go through. Women are afraid of rejection. They don't want to come out and straight approach a man because they're afraid of what the man's gonna say. Just as a man is afraid of what a woman's gonna say, but he decides to do it. And I just feel like I understand that women feel like that's what society has made it. The man approaches the woman, but I also feel like it's a way for women to cop out and say, "Well, I'm afraid of rejection, so I'm not gonna say nothing." That's the man's job. But in hindsight, they're scared to death because they know if they walk up to the man, they could be rejected, and it could hurt their ego as a woman.
Yeah, no, see, no, it just goes to show women like being a shooter. They do not want to get shot. You
Mm-hmm.
feel what
Oh,
I'm saying? Hey,
and
they
if you
love
seen
shooting. They love shooting it down, but they don't want to get shot down. You feel what I'm saying? That's all it is.
if
Yeah, I
you
mean, it's
seen
the
my most
fear.
recent post, if you seen my most recent post, the post that I sat there and responded to about the girl approaching the guy at the gym, and the guy shot her down. Basically told her that he kind of busted look. You know what I'm saying? But then all the women like, damn, he was rude. You know what I'm saying? They hated how he came at her. And it's like, it's like, damn, yeah, y'all can't deal with what we deal with on the regular.
Timo, you know how many girls call us ugly and all that? Oh
Right,
man,
you know
get
what I'm
your
saying? Oh,
dusty
boy,
ass out of
boy,
here.
yeah, yeah,
All she
right,
heard is, "Oh, your body beat up, bitch. Do some workout, work out. That's all you need to do. Work out." We hear all
yeah,
types of things. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, man,
because you got to think about it though, Timo. We get shot down the most because women, well, the way that the world has been designed, men always got to go out there to approach the women, so we get shot down the most. And like I
yeah,
think it was a pretty crazy podcast say some men go after women that they know they can't get, and just to get shot down. And she told a dude her name was Eddie. Come on, bro. A grown woman, black woman, gonna tell you her name Eddie, man. What you gonna do after that?
yeah. She told me on it. I
Come
found
on,
out at a
man.
later date. She said that, yeah, she told him she was transgender.
Yeah, see
I
what
was
I'm
like,
saying?
I was like, damn. I'm like, damn, you went that far?
Yeah, but that's but she didn't approach him. He had to approach her. And look what he went through.
Mm. But that's my
But
whole thing. But that's my whole thing. Like I said, I agree that if a man is a hunter and a man's gonna go after what he wants. But I also feel like women forget how good they got it. Y'all forget how good y'all have it as women, that y'all take it for granted. Men shooting their shot and men stepping up and walking up and speaking to y'all. Y'all take it as this everyday life. It's just another man.
yeah,
Like y'all
yeah,
don't really understand what it is. I'm
because
saying
it happens often.
as women, for y'all to understand this, y'all gonna have to get y'all heads knocked off a couple of times. That's just
You like, nah, I'm not
that's
going through
what
that.
it
You like,
is.
They not. Women not gonna do
I
that though, y'all. Women not gonna do that.
I get it. I'm still gonna sit here and say women should not shoot their shot. I'm still gonna
Mhm.
say that. I strongly believe in that. I do have a brother, so I do like always kind of got his point of view on things. So I do understand that. And this was like growing up, but I think the world that we live in now, I would agree that women do take that for granted. Women like bragging about how many men they turn down, and how this guy tried to talk to me and he wasn't good enough, and so you guys hearing this story, it makes it discouraging. But I don't think that means that women need to get out here and do it. It's just it's part of the game. So pretty much what I'm saying is women, we do have to stop. For one, like I feel like women need to stop being mean and rude to men when they approach them, even if you don't like them. So like even if I don't like you and you're not my type, there's no reason for me to say anything mean to you. I can just politely tell you that I'm not interested, right? But the way that women respond to men that they're not interested in is pretty mean. So the girl you was talking about that you posted, he didn't have to shoot her down like that. That was mean. I would say the same thing if the shoe was on the other foot. That was mean. You didn't have to do it in that manner. But at the end of the day, y'all pretty much, I'm saying you gotta still take it. But I am telling women that you should not be mean about turning down a guy that you don't that you're not interested in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, 'cause
I
that
agree. I agree.
which is why you got a lot of people who really don't have that confidence. They'll see the woman in person. You might have been motherfucking trying to hit her up in her DM. You might have been trying to hit her up in her DM for probably for a minute, or y'all been speaking in the DM, but you in public and you see her someplace in person, you're like, oh snap. Now you're afraid. Now you're really afraid to approach her. You're really afraid, or vice versa. I had a woman who seen me in person, didn't say shit to me. They gonna sit there and message me later on, be like, "Was that you earlier?" And you know what I'm saying? So it's like, the DMs for it now have help the people who really don't have that confidence to really approach. You know,
Men,
I mean, women too, because women be sliding in DMs also, and a lot of times when y'all slide in DMs through, y'all just be beating around the bush. So it's like, I mean,
That's right, T-Boy. That's right, T-Boy.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, my whole thing about the women approach is that we understand that y'all gonna throw y'all little signs and stuff like that, y'all little hints or put yourself in position. But sometimes like women just don't
not
have
enough.
game. Like women just don't have y'all
Mm.
don't have game. Like I feel like the man
But
is really carrying it to be like, okay, she's corny, but I'm attracted to her, so let me do what I gotta do. You get what I'm saying? And vice versa, because it's corny men on the woman's side. But I feel like sometimes, and that's what I say, it just goes back. I just feel like sometimes women just take it for granted how much the man is doing to get his stuff in position for y'all to both. Because sometimes it is a man that approach y'all that y'all find attractive, that y'all was hoping. I was hoping this man approaching me. And sometimes y'all take for granted about this attractive man walked up and approached y'all that y'all was not going to approach him at all. He walked up and approached you, and now y'all going on a date. Now y'all going on a date because that man took that initiative to say I'm gonna come and approach this woman. So that's my whole thing. I just want women to just remember, man. Just remember what the man is doing. Like it shouldn't be overlooked. It shouldn't be, well, that's a man's job. He's doing what he's supposed to do. Like that should be okay. We respect y'all, man, for doing what y'all doing. Because if it wasn't for y'all, half of us wouldn't be. We would be stagnant. We would be stagnant, and that's just what it is. But also I want to touch on too, and I'm glad that Timor had brought it up because I'll listen to your podcast. I think it was with ladies podcast and
who?
Ladies Lair a podcast.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Did you had them on your podcast? I think you were discussing about that you're old fat, like you have values that a lot of men nowadays that you just don't connect with them, and you
Hmm.
say one of the main reasons for that is because you feel like a lot of men do not know how to court a woman.
This is correct.
And so what I want to do is I want to first get I well on the podcast you broke down, a scenario of how a situation occurred between you and a man that you felt like he didn't fully court you right. And if you could, like, I guess summarize that for my two co-hosts, and then also explain to us what is the proper way that you feel a woman should be courted.
So I really don't recall that particular episode, so I don't know what story I was telling.
Well,
Um,
I can give it to you right quick. It
okay.
it was a guy, and you said that y'all exchanged numbers, and he texted you one time, and then he quit texting you, and then he hit you
Okay.
right up right before the date, and then you like, well, I thought the date was off. I ain't heard from you since the first time. I think it was
That would
it was.
okay. Yes, yes.
Mm.
So I met a guy, and texting, and we text for a whole day. You know, the first, initial get to know you, the dumbass questions we gotta ask each other, or whatever. So we text for up until like maybe around 7 o'clock or whatever. And he was like, I'm so excited to, see you or whatever. But we happen to both have really busy schedules. So we really couldn't get together till 2 weeks later. And he was all for it. He's like, okay, yeah, cool, I understand or whatever. So we ended up setting the date 2 weeks out. So I didn't hear from him up until the day before, like nothing, crickets, nothing. Okay. Like I literally almost forgot about the man. Like, I wasn't thinking about it. So the day before, he's like, hey, I can't wait to see you tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I told him, I said, okay, well, I didn't even I haven't heard from you. So kind of like in my head, the date was kind of off. Like I thought maybe you weren't interested. I don't know. And he was like, "Oh no, I'm still interested. And I want to go out with you." And I kind of told him, I was like, "Well, nothing really happened or whatever." And I was kind of explaining to him then that, I even explained to him then that I'm kind of old fashioned. So you texting me for the first day that you meet me and then never texting me until the day before a date. I mean, it just left so many questions for me. And not only that, but like I said, we're single, so I'm not thinking about you. Um, and so, anyways, I told him that, and I was like, I told him I would give him a call back so that we can talk and discuss things because he wanted to hear where I was coming from. But what he did say, I remember what he did say was, I understand what you're saying, but it goes both ways. And I was like, okay, yeah, it goes both ways. But I was busy, so I was like, as soon as I get a moment, I'm gonna give you a call, so that we could talk. I
Yeah.
already knew y'all was gonna say that before I even started the
Yeah,
story.
I see you left the
Hold
juicy part for last, Miss Coffee.
brother.
That
Hey,
was
Yeah.
but
I
We
almost
but
said cricket.
finish. We
We're
gonna
gonna
let
let
you
you
finish.
finish though, Miss Coffee.
So yeah, my day went on, and I actually I felt bad, but I was really busy, so I never called him back that day. By the time I remembered to call him back, I was just like, you guys, I want you guys to understand. I get frustrated with dating when I have to school a man that I'm old fashioned. Like it's tiring for me because I know that everybody's not like that. So when I run up on guys, it's like, well, this ain't gonna work for me. This is how I get down, blah blah blah. So I just didn't have the energy. I wasn't that interested in him,
That's, there you go.
and
Okay,
so
there
I
you go
was
right
like,
there. There
yeah,
you go right
Okay.
there.
Okay.
it's
There you go right
that's
there.
it.
Uh-huh.
So I never
Uh-huh.
called him back.
Okay.
but I mean, what I
But
hear though,
part of the reason why I wasn't that interested in him is because we only were attracted to each other initially by looks, and since we had no further communication, there was no further attraction beyond looks because we didn't talk or anything, so I didn't learn more about him or nothing. So you want me to explain what
Yeah.
I think is the proper way to court a woman? So
Woman. Mhm.
after you exchange numbers, then you should, build up some type of rapport with her, like have conversation with her through text, whatever she prefers. I think like
like
phone
a keeper.
calls and FaceTimes are needed because so much get lost in text. So you need to like call her a couple of times, FaceTime her, have real conversations, learn some things that she's interested in, some things she might like. And
Mhm.
then once you do that, once you establish a rapport and you guys like each other, then you need to set up a date. And the way you're going to set up a date is by paying attention to the conversations that you had previously, like what days she's off, what time does she have free. And I believe if you know that information, I think most women are so turned on if you just hit her up and be like, Saturday at 8 o'clock, we're going here. Do you want me to pick you up or do you want me to meet you there?
Mhm.
Okay. It's done deal. And she's going to ask, where are we going? Because she wants to look a certain way. You let her know how, is it casual, how to dress, whatever. Okay. Then once y'all go on a date and you guys still like each other, then you keep that conversation going. So you always want to I'm not trying to say you need to reach out all the time, but you need to constantly be in pursuing of her. So if you're in pursuing her, you need to constantly be hitting her up. And I'm gonna say it whether y'all like it or not, you need to hit her up every day. You need to check on her every day.
Oh, hey,
Talk
Miss
to her
Coffee, who paying?
every
Oh,
day.
okay.
Hey,
Hey, Miss Coffee, who
hey,
paying for? Can I ask one
hey,
question
hey,
before they ask a question?
Uh-huh.
Who paying for the date?
You're paying for the date.
And I'm
Mm-hmm.
calling every day.
Mm-hmm.
and and it's funny though.
Y'all
That
just
doesn't
said
really,
y'all hunters.
but that don't really
Oh, see,
sound. See,
oh, go
that don't
ahead.
really sound like no. That don't
That
really
sound
sound
like
like no
hunting.
old school. That doesn't really sound old school. That
That don't
sounds
sound
That's
just like
old
new
school.
school. That sounds new
that
school,
sounds like a
G-Boy.
lot of new school to me. Like
Yeah.
I
What?
mean,
What's because
back in the day, they wasn't talking and texting all motherfucking day because
yeah,
they didn't have these technology. They
but
couldn't
we
even talk.
do
Man couldn't
though.
even talk while he
Okay.
was out. He couldn't even talk while he was out. The only time they really was able to communicate is if they was together or if they talked to each other on the phone. Other than that, they
Okay,
out.
so what do you when you can't come to my house
It's like
every day and talk to me?
nowadays since we have phones, we're required to talk and text.
You're damn right. If
Multiple
they had
times throughout
phones
the
back
day.
then, if they had
I mean,
phones back then,
we
women
can't
would
speculate
require
they
the same
didn't.
thing.
We can't speculate
Okay,
they didn't. Right now, that's what I'm saying.
wait.
All
I
that's
have a
fluid.
question.
Go
So
ahead.
you're saying that back then they would have to come and visit the woman, like physically talk. Okay. Well, we live in a world where you cannot come to my house every day. The world is a dangerous place. You're not just about to be coming to my house to talk to me. So therefore you will call me over the phone until I feel
I mean,
comfortable with you.
they met up in public places.
Okay, so I mean,
It
how
wasn't
you want
just
to do this?
I
You
go to
want to
your house.
meet? Okay, but do you want to meet me in a public place every day? It's up to you. You still need to connect with me. So
But no, that's why.
are you
But see,
are you
also back in
just
the day,
bothered by the fact that I said you need to call and text
no,
every day?
no, it's
Or
just
are
the
you
fact that
triggered
I'm
by
just
that
saying that
statement?
when you just I'm just was really just responding to when you just said, "Oh, it's old school," but then I'm like, I'm very old school, but then bringing up a lot of shit that we deal with today with the new school, like a lot of the stuff that they wasn't even really dealing with because they wasn't doing. So it's not old school.
Okay. Okay, so does that mean that I'm not traditional because I'm involving technology?
I mean,
It's called a
I mean,
remix, Kyle. It's a remix.
I get it.
It's some of the old song with some new song on it.
I
It's a
think
remix.
I think what she's saying is she has old school values, but the old school values that
Yeah,
are are aligned with new time,
absolutely.
technology or what it is. She's saying like how new stuff is going on now. She don't really she vibes, a court, take her out on days, open like being that legitimate gentleman that she's looking for. Which and like I said, from that part, I have no problem with. I have no problem with. My issue that I have is this. Well, you're a hunter, so ain't you? You hunting? Ain't you? You hunting? My issue is that I think the terminology of a hunter for a woman, they feel
Uh,
like you're hunting
uh,
her.
Wait,
Like
I'm sorry. They're
I,
hunting what?
I think a lot of women when they think of a hunter, they think that hunter is just hunting her. A
Okay, and we can talk about that.
yeah,
Hmm.
a hunter is hunting you and having many other women he found attractive as well.
You right?
And so as a woman, and this is why I'm saying what women need to step up. And you said this, and you know this, that you said that if it's meant for me to be with a man, we will be together. But you have to do certain things because this man is not just talking to you. Y'all are both talking to other people.
Mm-hmm.
So as a woman, if I'm dealing with a woman and she like, well, I'm not gonna text or call you unless you text or call me first. Or I'm not doing this unless you do this first. I'm not doing this. I'm looking at her like she crazy. I'm like, what you ain't doing, somebody else gonna do. So am I gonna put up with you and saying, well, I'm not gonna do it first? Or am I gonna say I'm gonna deal with the person that's giving me the same energy I'm giving back? And that's all I think a lot of men want. We're not saying that we won't do this for a woman. We just look at women crazy when they put obligation on us that, oh, you're a hunter, you're supposed to do this, or you're the man, you're supposed to do this. And the woman just sits there and just receives and then decides whenever day it is that she wants to reciprocate. It just don't work like that to me. But I mean, what do you feel about that, Kendra?
Two things. So I feel like if you are hunting several women, that's your business. That's not. I don't care about your headache because you are hunting for
Oh,
bitches. That's your business. Well, you saying you think the woman believes that you're only hunting
mm-hmm.
her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you hunted me or 89 bitches. I really don't. That's on you.
Mm-hmm.
But I am like, okay, so once the man starts the courtship, a woman needs to continue to allow herself to be courted. So, and when I say that, you need to be showing this man that you are still interested and you are in
There you go.
pursuance of him. So I believe in more of I don't know, like I'm feeling generous today, maybe like a 70-30, you know? You do 70% of the work and I'll let you know I'm interested 30% of the time. So you hit me up 7 times, I hit you up 3 times, but I'm hitting you up.
Hell no.
I need to I really don't see the problem I really don't see a problem with that.
I'm supposed to show you
Because
that I'm interested more than you are than me.
that's what you want the woman to do?
I'm actually. That's what you said. He's like,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
supposed to show you that I'm more interested. Just show me, yeah, I'm
because
a little bit interested. Yeah, I mean,
no, so
it's
that doesn't mean I don't mean to show that you're a little bit interested, but it's showing that, hey, I'm still interested. I still want you. I still want you to pursue me. If we sit and we just wait on your text messages and your calls all day, that's not showing you that we're interested at all. Cause you like, damn, I only hear from her when I hit her up. She never hits me up. But I think 30% is good. Because I don't feel hunted. I feel like we doing this together.
But that's what we like. Like no, I get what you're saying. As a woman, you want to feel like a man really wants you. The man put in the time, effort to be with you. As a woman, I understand you wanting that. But as a man, our ultimate thing is for us to be a mutual thing. That's our ultimate. Like I can understand up front. You say, okay, I am trying to win this woman over. So let me do X, Y, and Z to win this woman over. And at a certain point, you have to feel like, okay, we're getting closer to this. We're getting closer to that.
And the closer you guys get to a relationship, the more a woman should do.
Relationship.
So, see, you're not even talking about a relationship. I don't even know why you interested in this conversation. If you don't want a relationship, you're really not hunting, right?
No. That's not what I said.
Okay.
When I say relationship, I said you're saying the woman starts doing more when you get to a relationship.
No, I said the closer you guys get. So the longer you're courting me, the more I'm going to give to you. You don't get to court me for 30 days. By the end of the 30 days, I'm giving you 50-50 energy.
Well, what type of energy? So, all right. So, I mean, you did say, so what type of energy do you feel like within, from 30 days? So we talking about 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. How is the energy progressing? What do you feel like? And what's the time frame you feel like this man does? So basically what you're saying is by the time we get into a relationship, that's 50-50 energy. That's what you're saying.
Kinda. So it depends on what you're saying. We're in a relationship. What are you considering 50-50?
I mean,
I'm gonna hit you up, like the hit up, like us reaching out to each other. Yes, that's okay. I'm okay with that being 50-50. And I'll admit that I personally need to work on that as a woman, hitting the guy up that I'm either dating or dealing with at the time. I need to, give him more. So I'll admit that. But if we're in a relationship, yeah, I can meet you at the 50-50. Yeah, you can require that, absolutely. But what else are you talking about 50-50?
I mean, and when you said relationship, and I said, it was that I'm not dating a woman unless I seen her show me something that is dateable. Okay. So you're not gonna sit there and be pulling back. Well, I'm gonna give him a little bit here. I'm gonna give him a little bit here. and then I just supposed to put them all together and say, well, she's
Right.
spoon fed me the whole way, and I think she can do this. No, I want to see what you can do before we get into a relationship.
Show me what you're working with.
But
Yeah.
the reason why is because, just like you said, you're dating multiple girls. Until you sit me down and say you only want to date me, then I can meet you there. But if you dated multiple girls, why am I like I'm not really understanding that.
See, that's what we got off at, because I think in your mind you automatically went to dating. In my mind, I said we're both in the talking stage. Right now, we're in the talking stage. When we're in the talking stage, it's a lot of people in the talking stage. But once we get to the dating and the courting stage, then I say, okay, I'm focusing in on this woman. By the time I ask you to be my woman, it's just you. There is no competition. That's what I'm saying. But you're saying in the beginning stages, you're like, well, I'm a spoon feeder. I'm gonna give him a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here. That's where I was off at.
Yeah.
So yeah, that
So
has to be
going in
clarified,
holding back, but you want him to get it.
a talking stage, I'm not requiring you to do a damn thing. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if I forget about you, I just forget about you. So that's just is what it is. In the talking, just like you're right. I'm not in the talking stage. I don't feel like you are required to do anything. You're not required to send those. You're not required to send those text messages, so on and so forth, because you're just talking. But when you are dating, then yes, requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I on both sides. I feel like once y'all both dating, then yeah, I feel like it should be definitely. If it ain't 50-50 by then something ain't right. So,
but then, what's dating then? Because I think dating is we're going out and spending time together. I consider the talking stages you basically just living in my phone. You're not getting none of my energy.
Nah.
So I'm lost.
Well, I mean, like I said, a lot of people, like I said, this is just my personal breakdown. Like I said, everybody has their own personal dating style or however they want to go through the dating motion. But me personally, the talking stage and the courting stage, that's all one stage. Dating to me is when I actually say you're my woman. We're dating. We're official. We're officially together. All the other stuff before that is just we're in the talking stage. We go from talking to now I'm exclusively just talking to you till you're my woman. That's how I look. But
read a comment real quick, y'all.
Go ahead.
Mr. On Demand Services say and a Pearl gotta step up. Let them know you the one. He was talking about you, Coffee. He said you gotta step it up and you gotta let them know you the one.
No, I don't, because I may not be the one for him.
If you're going through like a situation holding back and you trying to see what he's gonna give you, I'm gonna look at that and be like, damn, why am I really giving all this if he's really holding back this?
You guys saying holding back, but you're not my man, so you don't deserve nothing.
I mean, if it's somebody you're interested in, you gonna wait until they're your man to really show them why you should be the woman for him? Oh yeah, you made me your woman. Now I'm gonna show you everything. So I'm gonna show you this.
To some degree, yes. You don't need to be acting like you're a girlfriend to somebody you're just talking to.
I mean, it's not even girlfriend. Like what we're asking for is not even girlfriend stuff. We're just asking for a even level of communication. We just don't want to feel like we blowing your phone up and we just waiting around for whenever you feel the necessary to send a message through. That's what we're talking about. We're on the basic level. We ain't got to you my woman yet. We just want
why really just be sitting around thinking about, oh man, he hasn't texted me all day. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna see when he's gonna text me. You know what I'm saying? But you already acknowledged we both have busy schedules, so maybe he got busy that day. I mean,
and that's when the woman should text you.
But if you playing the game of, well, I'm a spoon feed him this, well, he gonna hear from me when he hears from me.
I don't feel like that's spoon feeding if we're only because you guys have clarified that this is actually a talking stage. Okay?
Yeah, talking stage.
If this is a talking stage, no, just like you said, you are talking to 5 women. Let's say I'm talking to 5 men.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna end up with the dude who's doing what I would, because he's doing is the guy that's hitting me up consistently is appearing more interested in me than somebody who is waiting for me to text them. And you said this is just a talking stage, so we're narrowing it down for who we actually really like, right?
Maybe he's just trying to get what he
Or
wants.
who we like the most. Maybe
Risk his
he is,
age.
and he gonna, but then he's gonna
He
get
might
it
he
though.
might get it.
He might get it.
Yeah, because he
While you
knows
waiting
what he
on her
needs
to
to do to
text
get it.
you,
He knows what he needs.
yeah. I mean, so the thing is, it's not hard to get asked. So we're not even gonna get into that. That's It's not hard to get asked. But the point of it is, if you're in a talking stage, I really don't feel like y'all should expect much. The only time I'm gonna go hard for a dude is if this man has blown me away, and that this is just I want him so bad, and this I feel like that rarely happens. Uh, I ain't gonna speak for women, but that's rarely definitely happened for me.
Hey, no. Before you comment, let me read this. Let me read this comment real quick. Mr. On Demand Services and the Pearl say, then why we gotta show you we all in for you if it's not the same? We need to know.
Like Coffee. I think basically it's like if we both in the talking stage, and you're saying that a woman's not gonna really be that into y'all into talking stage unless she like really really into y'all. As a man, we're looking at it as in one. But and I always tell men this: deal with women that have the most highest interest in you, because those are women that's going to
And
give
I
you
agree.
that's going to give you
That's
the most.
facts.
The women that you and that's why I'm big on, like, a woman that's really highly interested in you. You don't gotta do too much chasing. You don't have to do too much chasing. That woman's gonna put herself in position for you to get her. She's gonna be in spots to which because she wants you, so she gonna put herself in position and in spots to be gotten. A woman that's not that interested in you, or she ain't really feeling you like that, or she on the fence about you, take it or leave it. She got other dudes. She cool. It is what it is.
But in the talking stage, Noah,
Hmm?
in the talking stage, a woman is gonna do this.
No, no. See, what I'm saying is, you're saying as a man in the talking stage, you want us to go hard, and we're saying why are we going hard?
And
As a
you're not
woman,
scared.
you saying, it is what
Okay.
that's
Be-
my thing.
okay, because first of all, I understand that men and women, we want to feel chosen, like we want to feel desired. I understand that. But I think it weighs more heavily on women, on the women. Like, we want to feel like you chose us. Out of all the 5 girls you're talking to, I want to feel like you chose me. And your max effort is going towards me. If I know that you're giving all of us minimal effort, then why would I feel special? What's special about me?
But
You just end up with me?
I understand that, and that's a valid point. But what females have to understand too is that sometimes it's not the woman that we giving the max effort to. It's the woman that's showing us the most that's giving it back to us. That's the woman that ends up winning with us. It could be a woman that we madly attracted to, that if we think she the baddest thing ever, and we want her bad. But it could be a woman that don't look as good as her, or she has features that we find attractive as well. So we can drive all day at this woman and not get no way. And then this woman right here, she's reciprocating the energy that we giving her. She's giving it back. So at the end of the day, she may win just off the simple fact that she is giving out the same energy that we're giving out. Not saying that she's desperate, not saying that she needs
Right.
the man or whatever it is. It's just she's making the man feel like he's wanted. Like,
Okay.
mhm.
Okay, let me ask you this then. So, in the talking stage, then, what do you guys feel like is so at the talking stage you want a woman to be giving you 50-50 energy, correct? Is that what you guys are saying?
Not even it don't. And that's what I'm saying. I'm
Give
not.
me some numbers.
Yeah, that was it. I'm not even looking for 50-50 energy. I'm just looking for a woman to do more than the average. Like you, like
What
what?
would that be
And,
exactly?
oh, and let me break it down to you. And the same thing that we had said earlier: a woman that's not waiting for a man to do nothing, a woman that's taking initiative. Well, I ain't heard from him. Let me go ahead and hit him up. Or we ain't talked in a while. or what you doing, or let's meet up. Like a woman that's just not saying that she has to set the plans, but a woman that's willing to do something. That's not just waiting around. Just, well, I'm gonna see what he does next. Well, what does he do next? Or what does he do next? Because as a man, that's already on us. We already know that that's expected for us to come in and take the reins, take control, and be the alpha man. We understand that. But men also understand that sometimes we looking for a woman to say, okay, we're gonna bring this to the table. We're gonna contribute this to the situation. And so a lot of men, we look at women, we say, okay, the woman that we date is a woman that's showing them signs early. We can say she's been showing this from the gate. And we have to find women that stand out from the others, because there's a lot of good looking women. It's a lot of women that look good, but a lot of women are not going to go a little bit above for that man. And the women that do, they get remembered for it. And that's just what it is.
Hey, we got another comment from Dope Action Big Fact 614. He said, making women feel special can have reverse consequences.
If she's the wrong woman, absolutely.
The fact. Mm-hmm.
So the thing is that in the talking stage, I don't think a woman owes you anything more than a communication, equal communication. I don't believe a woman should say, let's meet here. And I'm gonna give you guys a story time that I haven't shared yet.
Go ahead.
I you know, and I told you guys, like, I have these older traditional type of mindset when it comes to dating, right? So I was trying to revert to the program. And I went on a couple dates with this guy, and you know, he planned them and took me out or whatever. And so like 2 weeks had went by, and I noticed he didn't plan like another date, or, you know, he did say he wanted to see me again, but he didn't like plan another date or whatever. And there was a movie out that I really wanted to see. So I invited him. I said, hey, let's go to the movie. And he was like, okay, what movie you want to see? And I told him what movie or whatever. And then he was like, okay, cool. And then this was through text. We were setting up the date. And then he goes, who's paying for the date? And I just, like, my heart just sunk, because I was like, well, I thought you would pay because, you know, like, you're the guy. And then he was like, oh no, if you invited me to a date, then I'm expecting you to pay. And then I was just like,
Miss Coffee, that's the facts. Miss Coffee, he was not lying. That is facts.
okay,
Because all the women said that to us. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
okay. But here's where I am. That might be facts for y'all, but that's not gonna work for me. And I just said that. If I said women shouldn't approach men and shoot their shots, you think I'm gonna sit here and say women should take men out on dates? That isn't even a line. No. So when you saying that you want a woman to plan a date, I, for one, after experience, will never do that again. And I didn't even argue with him. I said, you know what? I see your point. I did invite you out, so I see how you could expect me to pay. But I did explain to him, if I say I want wherever I want to go and you go, I'm assuming you're going to pay. And maybe I shouldn't assume that, but I'm glad we had this conversation, and I know where we stand.
That was unrealistic.
And
Come on, y'all. What are we talking about?
And when you go back to the point when you say that you don't think women should approach, because I think you feel like it leaves women in situations where they have to, well, since you asked me, you got to do this, and since you asked me, you got to do that. And I can understand, as a woman, you want to keep a feminine approach to relationship, as in you want the man to take control and you want the man to court you. You don't want to feel like y'all are both courting each other. I'm gonna take you out. You're gonna take me out. I can understand that. And when I said a woman setting up or saying let's go, I'm not saying for a woman to set up a date. I am saying for a woman to initiate.
But you see how that blew up in my face? I thought I was initiating.
It's ways. For one, it's ways around that. As in, like, I understand you want to see a movie, and it was an official date that both of y'all had to pay for.
No, but you don't even understand. No, he didn't even want to see the movie. That's a movie she wanted to see. What are we talking about here?
No, but he didn't say I didn't want to see the movie.
No,
so
he did
why
the
are we
right
assuming
thing.
he didn't want to see it?
A lot of the times he
No,
probably
no,
didn't care
but
about the
you
movie.
started
It
the
was just
story
about
It
off
the
was
and
time
my
said
spent with
idea.
it
you.
was your idea and it was a movie that you wanted to see and you was actually already there, right?
No, we was just texting each other. We was trying to set it up. We was at home.
Oh, okay, yeah. Nah, he did the right thing.
But I mean,
Yeah.
listen. I mean, from the
No,
post that
no, because I ain't simping for no woman, bro. Like women make dudes fall into these holes or make them have to dig out of these great holes before they even know him. I'm like, God damn, can I show you the man I am before
That's
I have
because
to
you're dating
show
the
you what
wrong
my
women.
no, before I have to show you what my wallet doing? You know
That's
what
because
I'm
you're
saying?
dating the wrong women.
No. I'm good.
Well, those women you're
Relationship
referring to,
fantastic. No, you
okay,
feel what I'm saying? But I just speak for other people
I
when I'm on
do.
the show. I don't want people to think I'm always speaking for myself. Do you feel me,
No, no,
T-Boy? How many times I say that to people, T-Boy? No,
Now,
I'm in a great
that's what a
relationship.
lot
I'm
of people
good.
don't be under.
I'm wholesome.
People be
Yeah.
understanding
Just
that
because
I'm
I
not.
talk like this, it
I can
don't have nothing to
understand.
do with me personally.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
I
good.
can understand
Yeah,
situations that I haven't been through.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
but
Just like,
I understand where he's coming from because we letting the city girls hypnotize us. So I understand where he's coming from, but I'm still gonna stand in that. And those same men are dating the wrong women. Period.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I agree, and that's why I said on both women and men's side, find the person that's most that has the highest interest in you, and go with that person. People always chase after people that they don't have that level of interest in them.
So so then was I
Hey,
wrong when I
but
said I
now we
end up
actually
with a guy that
saying,
texts
To
me
get
every
into
day?
it, I was about to get into it. I was just about to get into it. I think where you went wrong, and you said this, and you know this. What you went wrong is you said that he said that whatever y'all had a good time, and he said I want to set up a second date, but he never set the second date up. And so you took the initiative to say, well, he said it, then he's gonna set up the second date, but he ain't did it yet. So let me go ahead and set the second date up. And
hey, but
so with you doing that, it kind of left it to be like we had to see if he really was gonna follow through.
and I,
It could have been I had a good time. I'll take on the second date, but it could be something nice somebody says just to end the date, and it was.
no, or it could have been that other
We
girl
have went
called
on
him.
no,
But
we have
it
went
could have
on
been that
two
other
dates
girl that
already.
Oh
called him.
yeah, I went on 2 days. Okay, I
Hey,
thought
it could have been another girl that called him that was really trying to pay for the date. You feel what I'm saying? Like you really don't know.
I
Like
really
like,
it's just
don't care.
crazy,
I
bro.
left him where
yeah.
he was at.
No, I agree. No, and I agree that you handled that situation right. That if you felt like that you still wanted the man to to pay for your
oh
meal,
my god,
that if he felt like okay, you asked me out and I want to pay for it, y'all had this on that. I think you should have stated to him, I still feel like this. I understand where you're coming from, but that's just not how I want to go.
And
And
I did.
and that's fine. Like I said, it's nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong with expecting what you want from people. And if that person not willing to give it to you, go find somebody else who's willing to get you to give it to
That's
you.
fact.
Like it's plenty of men. Like I said, it's and when I speak about courting, and that's why the definition of it. Because when I speak about courting, I'm make
T-More, duck, T-More.
I,
They shooting. They shooting.
a lot of fireworks.
No,
But I'm
I
like,
know.
damn, yo,
I can tell.
that shit,
No. I can tell the difference though. My bad. I just wanted to
that
make
shit
it funny.
funny. That shit funny as shit because it's like motherfucking 5 days after and they still shooting them. But go ahead.
oh yeah. No, I mean, but I was just saying that it is a man that will court you how you want to be courted. But all I'm trying to get you to see is there anything in your courting like that you want to be courted? Is it anything in that you would tweak or say, well, I'm willing to ease up on this to attract a different type of man? That's basically where I'm going at with that. Like it's always a person that you can find that's gonna give you exactly what you want. But sometimes you get that person to give you exactly what you want, you still ain't satisfied. So so
Um, yeah. Um, no. There's nothing I see wrong with my dating style.
mm,
So, and I listened to you guys. You guys said that women need to put in more effort. I will. I guess you know what. I'll agree that I could communicate more,
okay.
but that's about it. I mean, I'm not really sure. I'm not gonna walk you to I'm not gonna give you the play-by-play. I mean, no.
Mm.
So when you say that you're dating or you talking to different, are you not talking to different guys?
So at this point in my life, no, I like to date one man at a time. I find it, and I get it. But I just find it a lot more difficult on my life to keep up with more than one man. Like, if I'm trying to get to know three men, I'm gonna forget Randy got a kid, Tyrone don't have a kid, um, Jeremy works at, I don't know. It's too much work for me to keep up with them
Mm.
and like the
I agree
conversations that
with
we're
that.
having. So to avoid that headache, and I'm saying this because I have other shit going on in my life. I have
Yeah,
a lot of other things I have to tend to. So then I'm gonna tend to three dudes on top of that. That don't work well for me. So now I just date one man at a time. Now his time, depending on him, couldn't be limited. So if you're not stepping up or showing enough interest, then I'll leave you where you're at and I'll just go do me until I find somebody else that I want to date. But I do not prefer to date multiple people. No.
Mm. I mean, I agree.
okay,
That you get to a certain point where
yeah,
you don't have the time for it. Like it's more important things. And so you rather if you were to date somebody, you would rather give that time to somebody you feel is worthy of that time, a person that you really have that connection with. So I can definitely understand narrowing it down to just one person when you get to a certain stage in your life or a certain time in your life.
And I also feel like dating multiple people takes longer to meet the find your person. It takes longer to build up connections with that person. These, three people, it takes longer to build up rapport with these people. It's gonna cost y'all more money, right? But it's gonna take more time and energy to go on. Like, let's be real. When you're dating multiple people, sometimes you have to go on 2 dates that week. So you have to rearrange your life. Blah blah blah, and it's just I feel like it takes longer than dating one person, but I could be wrong, but that's just my take on it. I tried it and it just ain't for me.
Mm. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I mean, and that's the biggest thing is just that once you in the dating scene and you take a step back and you really self-reflect on yourself, you learn what's perfect for you, what matters for you, what works for you. And so once you figure out what works for you and what makes you happy, you want to find somebody that complements that for you. You're not trying to find somebody that pulls you away from what
Mhm.
you find happy. You want to find somebody that complements that for you. And going back to listening to another one of your podcasts, and I'm glad that you spoke on that as well. The podcast I think titled what is it? I Attract, or the men
Mhm.
I attract. And you
Mhm.
actually broke down, the reflection that you did in your life. You kind of broke down what you had to learn about yourself to the why you attract the men that you attract, and
Mhm.
and the fact that you was open enough and understanding enough to say, well, I'm getting these type of man because I'm putting this out there. Now, once I figure out this is what attracting the men, and I go back and reflect and change that about myself, I can attract differently. And and
Absolutely.
and so my question to you is really in that stage of self-reflect, self-love, and self-understanding. Do you feel like that has made you more open to say, okay, maybe I can try a different approach with different situations? Or are you saying these situations for me work, and I'm just going to find somebody that I can just bring into this situation that I already have?
No, it definitely has opened my mind up too, because I'm able to like reflect and think about how I used to be, and how I ended up making those adjustments. So like, for example, if I meet somebody that's not, like, if I think he's ultimately I think he's a good dude, but he may have something about himself that I don't like, or I'm willing now to have that conversation with him, because sometimes people don't realize an issue within their self until somebody else points it out. Like, you know, I could have had 10 relationships and done the same thing in all 10 relationships, but the 10th relationship, this one dude points it out, like, look, I don't like this about you, you're selfish, or whatever the case is. And then that can cause a self-reflection, move. But yeah, I feel like I'm definitely open. Um I'm less rigid when it comes to that kind of stuff. But you gotta already be decent. You can't come just completely broken. You know, you have to come in a good piece, and then I can work with it.
Mm-hmm. So you're at this stage. You feel like, oh, well, let's put it like this, because I heard you say that you have a checklist that you check off, well, not physically check off, but you have a checklist that you're looking for in a man, that you say, well, he has to be check some of these off on my checklist for me to even give him that time of day. So, do you still have that checklist, or are you kind of saying, I'm just going to feel out what's going on, and then if I like it, I'm gonna let it keep going on, and if I don't, I'm just gonna pull back.
No, I still have a checklist. The checklist is very small though. Like I think um when I started dating in like my early 30s, well, because I'm about to be 35, but so around 31 when I started dating, I read this book, and I don't remember what book it was, but the book was like, it was something in dating and relationships, and the author was like, make a list of 10 things about yourself that you bring to a relationship, and make a list of 10 things that you want your spouse to bring to the table in a relationship. And I had those as my guidelines, and I think that, you know, whether we write them down or subconsciously, we all kind of have a list of things that we want in a person. So the list went from like 10 things, to the older and the more experience I got with relationships and just my life in general. The more I realized a lot of that stuff ain't even important at all. Like there's like a top three that I need, that I must have. And if you have that, I'm willing to work with you.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, I don't know if this is a private list you have with yourself, but do you mind sharing with us what your top three is?
Sure. So the top three I would say is I need to feel protected when
Mm-hmm.
I'm around him at all times. I need to feel stable with him. And that doesn't necessarily mean financially only, but it means that his life is already in a stable place. You know, like he can't like not really have his stuff together, because then when I come, I'm not going to feel like you're stable. And I need a man that is either healed already from past traumas and relationships, or in the process, or at minimum aware and seeking to heal.
Mm. Okay.
And those are the three things.
That's very. I mean, because that's what we get a lot on the on when women come on the show. That's mainly they look for protection. They look for that security, whether it's financially or just, I guess,
Hmm.
emotional security. And then like I said, they just look for, they look for, I guess, like everything that you mentioned basically. And but like the only and I said this earlier in the show, the only problem I have when women stick, they look for, protection and security and stuff like that. And they say once a woman feel like she got that from a man, then she loves the man. And my thing is that those things that women are listening, that has nothing to do with the man as an individual. Those are things that any man can equip, and it makes it sound like if you're that man that has this equipped, that you could be that man that she's with, and it's nothing personal about you that really says, well, I want him for this. He had, like, every man has something individually about themselves that they can say, only I as a man have this. I can bring this to the table, just me. And women kind of make this more as a wide thing of security, safety, and stuff like that, and that really has nothing to do with the man as a man. It's just stuff that the man can bring to her or show her or give to her. So do you feel like it's okay for a woman to feel like, it doesn't really matter about the man per se, as long as he can give me X, Y, and Z, he can be the guy.
No. So what I'm saying is, and what you said, I don't agree with that.
Okay.
I've been around and been in relationships with enough men to know I don't always feel protected with them. So
Mm-hmm.
that for me is a huge deal. Is for me to feel protected with you. And a lot of men do not make women feel protected.
What they
That's
gotta
number
do to
one.
make you feel protected?
Huh?
I said, what kind of things do they have to do to make you feel protected?
And you
Or
don't
how,
have to do anything. You have to just be that man that when I'm with him, I feel safe. There's nothing that you do. You have to be an alpha male, I guess. I guess that's the only way to explain it. But you don't have to do anything. You don't have to like carry guns and go around fighting dudes and arguing. That's not what I mean. It's
not,
that when I'm with myself or other girls, I don't feel protected. I want to know that when I'm with my man, I'm feel protected. So like if I'm not with my man right now, somebody come barging through this door, I want to feel protected that I know he's going to get up and take whatever is coming to us before it gets to me. That's a feeling. That's not something I can say that you can. A man either has it or he doesn't have it. Okay. Um, and then what else did I say? A lot of men are not healed. A lot of men are not healed, not just from previous relationships, but childhood, things that happened in their childhood. So you're not healed. So as long as you're not healed, you're bringing those problems into our relationship. So I wouldn't really say that that's something all men can have because they can have it, but they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Most men, I mean, I'm not gonna say most men don't, but a lot of men don't have that. So, but to answer your question though, because you're saying that what we're asking for, let's say that what we're asking for is the staple of all men. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that makes the man feel unspecial, like you just need me because I'm a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, when I said those are my three qualities, those are my three qualities. But it's not to say that obviously for us to be connected it has to be something about you specifically because I'm not connected with this other guy and I'm not connected with the other guy, but me and you have a connection and me and you have a spark. So maybe you make me laugh, maybe you are good at building shit, maybe you are like a geeked out nerd and that turns me on. Like it's always going to be something about that particular guy, but I can't say I'm looking for a geeked out nerd, because then I could get a geeked out nerd and I could not feel protected, not be stable, and he cannot be healed. You get what I'm saying? So we always are going to bring, like, we all have something special and unique about us, but I
Mm-hmm.
can't say I'm looking for that one thing,
Yeah.
you know?
Hey, can I read a couple of comments real quick?
Yeah, go ahead,
I
bro.
read a couple of comments. We got dope action, big facts 614 say women that are sweet, genuine, always are appreciated because they feel more easier to communicate with, understanding and willing to work together.
I agree.
627 Levon say proper communication will eliminate a lot of confusion. I've been watching the live for over 30 minutes and it seems like people want to play games in their dating scene.
That is true. They do want to play games in the dating
And
scene.
then 627 Levon say don't worry about who else I'm dating, worry about yourself only. It seems like everyone moved are so calculated. What happened to showing genuine interest in someone?
I agree.
Like that was a good one. That was a good one.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, no, I mean,
definitely.
everything from that perspective, what you're saying is that yeah, you don't want to just state this is the type of man that I'm looking for. And like I said, when I was saying that, I wasn't saying that to say, initially this is what you're going in. I'm saying a lot of women say that after they've been with a man. After you've been with the man, instead of saying I love this man because well he makes me laugh or it just a little quirky,
Okay.
they will still, after they've been with the man, they will still say, well, I love his protection and security, and it's just like that has nothing to do with that man. That has something to do with how you personally understand that makes you feel, and it's a loving, and you feel secure. But what I'm saying, what about that? That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No. I agree with I definitely agree with that. Once you're in a relationship with a person and you guys, that's different because you should know all the little things that you love and like about the person, just like you're gonna know all the little things that you don't like about the person and the stuff that irritates you. So to those women, I kind of feel like maybe because women are kind of like seeing men as like we're missing the real quality in you guys. So like once you can pretty much, as long as a guy can protect us, has enough money or whatever the case is, everything else that you have as a person are overlooked. So we, like, a lot of women are not, they don't give a shit about that, because they're looking at this, which is the most important thing to them. So I understand where you coming from with that, because then you could just feel like, okay, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm disposable then, because if all
Yeah.
you need is that, you can go get that in another person. Like, what do you love about me specifically? What do you even like about me specifically? Why did you choose me to be in a relationship with? I get that.
Yeah, and that's what I said, and that's my main thing when women, like I said, when they not, I'm not talking about from the beginning. I'm talking about once you find this man that you're in love with, don't. And people ask you why you love your man, don't start off with, oh, he makes me feel secure, financially stable. Like, don't start off with the generic stuff. Like, actually say what you love about your man personally. Like, that makes a man feel good when it's something
Appreciation.
personally about the man that
Yeah, that's
he
facts.
has as a man that no other man has, that he has, that it's just this is why I'm with my man. This is why I and that's all, and that's all I'm saying from that point of view.
That's
But
interesting.
hmm but I also heard, like I said, this topic right here on our show has been highly debated back and forth on numerous shows. But I heard on your podcast that you was in a situation where you was talking to a guy, and your guy had a female friend, and the guy just and you told him, you was like, you don't believe in female friends. You told him that you're going to be his female friend in his life. So you feel the place of his female friend. And he told you that, nah, she been here forever. She not going nowhere. And you just going to have to deal with her. And you told him, nah, that's not how I wanted to be. And y'all had to go y'all separate ways on that. And so my question to you is has your has your stance on opposite sex friends changed, or are you still in the same space with, if your man has came into the situation with a female friend, do you feel like that she has to go and you have to be the female friend, or are you willing to work with that woman and say, well, you was here before me, let's see if we can build a dynamic together?
Nope. You cannot have a female friend. Absolutely not. And what actually happened in that story is we went our separate ways for a month. And then he called me back and was like, I understand where you're coming from, blah, blah, blah. My friend will, have to take a back seat, whatever. So we ended up being in a relationship. So here I am going against my own beliefs, because I still don't like that. Even though he's saying she's going to take a back seat, that really doesn't mean anything until we really have like an established relationship, right? So I took a chance, still dated this man. I mean, got into an actual relationship with this man. And he pretty much confirmed everything I don't like about a man having a woman friend. There was this one incident that pretty much sent me over the top. One, he would go, well, like a couple times he went like to Vegas and to Vegas to see his best friend for her birthday, and he went, he flew out a couple places to be with his friends, whatever. I didn't make a big deal about that, but this one particular thing just ended it for me. So his grandfather died, and he didn't tell me. He wrote it on Instagram. And so I don't see it until like this is Instagram, right? I didn't see it till like 2 hours later, because you don't know when I'm gonna be on Instagram. So
Mm-hmm.
as soon as I see that, I immediately text him and I say, hey, are you okay? And he didn't answer. I called, he didn't answer. I'm texting him like, hey, is everything okay? Like, do you need anything or whatever? He not answering the phone. And he answered the phone like he texts me back like an hour later and like, yeah, I'm good or whatever. I'm like, no, I'll come over. You want me to bring you something to drink or whatever? And he's like, oh no, I'm at my friend's house and we drinking over here. Who is his friend? A girl.
Cousin Diddy.
You at a girl's house, grieving and drinking. That's unacceptable. And so he's at her house or whatever. I still don't say nothing. I'm like, he lost his granddaddy. I'm not gonna trip.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say nothing. He over there drinking, whatever. So it come like 10, 11 o'clock. I'm like, what's up? When are you coming home? Because I was going to go spend the night with him. And he's like, oh, I don't, I'm just going to stay here. They don't want me to leave. And he's talking about his friend and her son. They don't want me to leave. I'm like, I don't really care what they want. I'm asking you, when are you coming home? He's like, oh, because I'm drinking. I said, give me the address and I will pick you up. Right. And I didn't say it like that, y'all. I said it real nice. I was like, oh, yeah, just send me the address, I'll pick you up. And he's like, no, I don't want to leave my car here or whatever. And I'm like, but your car is there now. And if you spend the night, your car is still going to be there. And if you're drunk, you're going to be intoxicated. So it's not like you're going to be checking on your car anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say nothing. He drunk. He grieving over his granddaddy. Fine, I chill. The next day, I call him and I'm like, I call him in the morning and I'm like, let me know when you get home. He's like, okay, cool. So when he gets home, I come and I'm like, you okay? Like, how's everything going or whatever? And he was like, it's cool or whatever. And then I forgot what happened. I think I had something to do, so I ended up leaving after I checked on him, and I came back that night. And I told him that. Oh yeah, I told him so. I was like, that was fucked up what you did. Like, you turned to social media to let everybody know your granddaddy died. I'm supposed to be your woman. You said nothing to me. When I reached out to you, you let me know that you were with your friend who was a woman, and then you spent the night with her, and you were drunk. He made this big old deal talking about, I don't care about him and his granddaddy. I don't care that his granddaddy died and blah, blah, blah. And, you pretty much turned it around on me like I'm tripping. And the only reason I didn't blow up that night is because his granddaddy died. And I still feel like I didn't blow up. I was just bringing it to his attention, like, this was wrong. And all I really wanted him to say was, you know what, that was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have posted on Instagram and I told you. Anyways, we ended up breaking up that night because of that. Because that wasn't going to work for me. Anyway, so the moral of this story is, hell no. You see, I tried it, and you see what happened to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being too cool. You see what happened to me. That's unacceptable. Now, as the men here on the panel, I'm gonna ask you: is that cool what he did?
Go ahead, Timo.
No, I ain't gonna lie. That's not cool at all. But I was just about to ask you, because I don't really agree with what he did. But I was about to say, what makes you feel like that if you dealt with another man with a female friend, that it would be the same scenario?
It doesn't. But I'm not willing to take that chance. Because the reason why I don't like it is because I know the things that could possibly happen. Yeah. And I say this all the time. I trust you. You're my man, right? But I don't know her. And I don't know if she's always wanted to fuck you. I don't know if she's always had her eye on you. I don't know if you're going to hit her up one day or she going to hit you up and ask you how the relationship going, and you tell her something about the relationship and she stir you in the wrong direction. I don't know. And I don't trust her.
If you trust them, you shouldn't be worried about that.
No, I'm going to be worried about her.
Timo, I don't know, Timo. From what I heard out of the story, he cheated in Vegas.
No, that's why I didn't. That's why I didn't. That's why I said.
Hey, was she allowed him to take that trip? That's what that happened there, right there.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, not trying to be funny, Miss Coffee. I'm just thinking as a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, she let me go to Vegas with you? Oh, sweet.
You know what they say? What happens in Vegas?
It stays in Vegas, and that's why I was the perfect place to me. That, bro. What you laughing over? What?
I mean,
so you saying not necessarily?
No, I mean, and not to be in his defense, but in his defense,
No. We need that. We need
I
that.
mean,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
in his defense, we do not know the type of dynamic that he had with this female prior. Like
Yeah,
we don't.
but you already still said, we already said, like, me personally, I've always been the one that I don't have an issue with opposite sex friends, but I do feel like once you get to a relationship, it's bounded.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you already realize that once you get into a relationship, like, even if y'all did certain shit, there's probably certain shit that y'all really can't do no more. But that don't mean really just, cut each other off, but I mean, all what she said, I mean, I can see why she would say something, but I already knew, just by, everything that he had going on, that when she did say something, it wasn't, especially with with his grandfather passing probably like the day before, it wasn't going to really be a good time, during within them few days, but I know you probably felt like you had to say something, because that's not something that you really, you had a problem with it, so you brought it to his attention. But I already knew when you said that you brought it to his attention that he wasn't going to probably take well to it, especially with everything that he had going on.
Yeah, but if he wasn't cheating, he made himself seem like it.
yeah.
Oh,
You feel what I'm
yeah,
saying?
no,
I'm just saying, like, all the things. It's just the steps, the many steps. Oh, you can't come get me. Oh no, hell no, don't care about me and want to pick me up, and I don't drive my car drunk. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so many. You feel what I'm saying? Like red flags that I couldn't even blame you for even just being like, fuck it, I don't care. I mean, I'm sorry that your
right,
people's died, but I just can't deal with you because
yeah,
ain't nobody going like that, y'all.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Let
that
me
was
had a
literally too
done
much.
that.
Yeah,
Let me
no,
had
that's
a done
facts.
right,
that.
That's facts. They try to
yeah.
bust your car
He wouldn't have
windows,
been
your
with it,
house windows, and some more
Okay.
shit. Yeah, that's factual. That's facts.
well, no,
That's definitely.
I, I definitely agree in
but
that even if he was not cheating, it's evidence to or red flag to say you're in a messed up situation that you shouldn't really be in. And
hmm
I felt like in that situation too, that it on his part it should have been handled differently. But the question that I wanted, because Seymour said it, that and when you're in a relationship, that you have to set boundaries, that you can't do the same thing that you were doing when you were single.
Yeah,
So in that instance, who is the person that sets the boundaries? Is it the man with his female friend, that's just their dynamic, or does the woman come to her man and say, this is what I'm not comfortable with you doing, can you not do this? So which person in that situation sets the boundaries?
I mean,
I think they should do it together. That's a great question, by the way. But I think they should do it together. Like, for example, since I came in the relationship and I stated before the relationship that I wasn't down and set boundaries.
yeah,
No boundaries were ever set.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't, and I'm not going to say he was opposed to it because we didn't have the conversation. But I can guarantee if we had the conversation, he would be opposed to it because his thing was these people were already here. These people had
yeah,
my back. These was my friends, and I don't need to change anything for you.
yeah.
But I would say that both people need to sit down, but I'm not doing it. You take your
Hey,
best friend and ride off into the sunset. Why are y'all not married?
oh,
That's your
that's
best
fact.
what?
friend.
What do you mean?
Oh,
Why are
T-Mo
they
don't
not
like
That's
that.
married?
different
I
from
Hey,
What?
y'all, I'm gonna read
What?
these two comments real quick, T-Bo, before you answer that. He said, you let your mind create situations that has not happened, love. Truth is, you're not at all a friend he needs, and vice versa. We have to stop treating our partners like property. And it says, during his grieving stage, he went to who he trusts, and that had nothing to do with you. Everyone cope differently.
That
no.
could be the case.
You don't.
I mean,
I don't care who you trust. You cannot spend the night with her.
Well, can I ask you, like you said, it really don't matter in that situation. Like I said, we all agreed that how he moved in that situation was, messed up. But can I ask you, in that situation, do you remember how long y'all was dating before that situation occurred?
That was a good question, though.
That is a good question. How long was we dating? I don't know. I would say getting close to a year, but not quite a year yet.
Okay, that's better now, because in my mind I'm thinking if y'all was just dating for like uh 4 months, 5 months, that he probably hasn't got that level of security to open up emotionally to you, and so he probably been in a relationship with her where he can open up emotionally to her. But if y'all been dating that long, y'all should have had some type of emotional connection eventually.
And I understand that, and I'm not gonna say whether he reacted, however he reacted while he was grieving, was wrong or right. But what I am gonna say is I am not gonna put myself in a position like that again. That's all. I like men who like to hang out with men. I don't know what this new generation is doing. Like y'all got all these girl best friends and you hanging with, like, I don't get it.
My
What
best
happened
friend,
to
best
dudes used
friend.
to hang with dudes?
I mean,
T-Boy, go ahead. No, hold on. Time out. Can you please let T-Boy keep it? Go ahead. Say what's on your mind, T-Boy.
I mean, I'm just listening to her, honestly. I mean, she, like, I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, it just really just sounds very simple. Just to say, okay, man, guys should hang with guys, girls should hang with females.
it just ain't that simple though.
And I'm not saying y'all have to. This is my thoughts and views. I really don't care what y'all do. And I don't mean y'all, I just mean in general. Like
No,
y'all
no,
can
no.
do
I know what
Yeah,
you're
whatever
saying.
y'all
No,
we
want to
know.
do. But when it comes to me, and niggas, you
mm,
gonna step to me? No, you're not. No. Mm-mm. I like a different type of man.
mm.
No. Like I said, and that's why I have a
Yeah,
hard
like
time with dating.
I
That's
got a
exactly
female,
what I mean right here.
I got a female friend. I ain't cutting her off.
That's great.
What's it called? I mean, but that's because I know that our relationship has always been genuine. It ain't never go to them type of levels. You know
But
what I'm saying?
You never thought
So,
about having sex with her ever, not one time.
no, I haven't.
I don't believe you.
I haven't. For real.
Not one
Not,
time. You never was like, yeah, I can take that down. Never.
never. And I make and I'm tell you
Hey
because maybe
T-Mo,
cause
hold on,
I'm gonna tell you
T-Mo, hold
early.
on, T-Mo, hold on, T-Mo, and I hate to be, yeah, I hate to do this, Joe. I might be with coffee, never.
Now, see, listen. I'm when I like earlier maybe earlier on to our friendship. Cause I probably only knew her maybe I don't even know if it was maybe a full year, but she ended up but what's it called? But I and me and her we was cool, so I put her on three way with one of my mans. She ended up her and my mans ended up getting together. They was dating for like 6 7 years. So I mean, I mean,
I
at that point she was
have a
always like
question.
really like sis for real. I mean, I ain't. It wasn't really. It was, like I said, I mean, I've known her for over 10 years, so it's
what's
always been. But go
your
ahead.
my
Has
fault.
she ever came to you for advice or just like to vent to you about a relationship?
I mean, we be having them kind of talks, but
That's my problem right there. I don't want my man having a problem with our
I
relationship.
said
You're
that
venting
myself.
to
I
Like
ain't never.
another
coffee, just
woman.
like coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
When let's
I
be
mean,
real,
we just talk
y'all.
about relationships in general. I mean, I ain't saying she comes and really tell me about what's going on in like her relationships because yeah, I mean, like I said, she dated my man for like 7 years, so it means a lot of shit I didn't really know until after they split up, and that's from probably really just talking to each of them individually. But they really kept when they during the time when they were together, all that shit really was kept in house. I ain't
Mm.
really know about a lot of shit.
Until
So
once it was
you
over.
you had something to say
Yeah,
to Kendra, or you just gonna let that one rock?
I'm just saying.
It looked like she had something to say.
That's what I said. I was gonna
I
wait.
this topic really irks my nerves because
Okay.
everyone wants to straddle the fence because what the benefits them. You, for example, you have a woman friend, so you're gonna straddle the fence because that benefits you because you don't want to give her up. But I just feel like for one, I'll speak for myself. It would be hard for me to have a guy friend who I know would just absolutely not never have sex with me if I ever decide to pursue him in that manner. Therefore, if I can't have that friend, okay, and I'm the woman, why would your woman friend not be the same? So, and then not even that, but let's say I do have a guy friend, right? Let's say I'm in a relationship and I have a guy friend, and I go, because women do this. So I'm not gonna talk for your friend, but women do this. If you're my friend, I'm going to vent to you about my relationship. I'm going to talk to you about my relationship. So I'll go over, I go venting to this dude, my guy friend, about the relationship or whatever. I don't know the whole time he been waiting for his whole time, his chance to get with me in the first place. So he's telling me, yeah, I would never do you like that, blah blah blah, whatever, and making it seem like he's painting my man to be even worse than he probably is. Therefore, he's steering me in the wrong direction because he don't want me to be with you anyway, and he wants to have his chance with you in the first place. If a guy would do that to me, what would be different for my man to have a woman friend? What would be different?
I mean, like I said, I mean, what you said, that's definitely true. Because I mean, I've said that on the show too. That's just one instance of the guy really playing the waiting game. You know what I'm saying? You might have friend zoned him, or however he got in that friend position. He just basically, just playing his position while he is with your man. He gonna be doing whatever he's doing, during that time span. But then once that day comes, yeah, he's gonna try his hand. And then, I mean, there's always multiple variables when it comes to these situations. Every situation ain't the same. So
Here
we
we
just look
go.
at this
Now it's
how
jealousy.
and we just look at this how something just happened one time or a couple times. I mean,
No.
that happens a lot, but I've also seen other situations where it be something else. So I mean, like it's not really
What?
always just like okay, if you have a guy friend, this is what's this gonna be or not. I mean, like that's not always the case.
It's not always the case. And I'm not even saying that all relationships are not genuine. What I'm saying is I'm not willing to take that chance, is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
And that jealousy where that irritates me, because why we
Oh,
gotta be jealous for us to not like the idea of that? It's the fact that I don't trust one how that relationship begun. So if you guys initially, men don't approach women to be best friends with them
What if
unless
it
you
Hey,
was
guys
a
like went to
situation?
school,
But
unless
but
you
but
hold
like I
on.
said,
Yeah,
that's what
I
I'm saying.
love
People
that one.
always they always bringing up relations like we met each other as adults. What if, like I said, what if we came up
no,
together as kids?
that's what I was gonna
We
say.
came
Unless
together
you
as
guys,
kids. What we came together as kids? We grew up around the same way. You know what I'm saying? We always been tight. You know what I'm saying? It ain't never been like that. Like I said, he could have been, really talking to all her friends, but their relationship been genuine. That's really been on some sis type shit. Yeah, you got dudes that be calling females his sister, and he be hitting them the whole time. But I mean, like I said, every situation is different. But you just go off all the dudes that you did see do that. Now that means he's
no,
doing it.
it's not even that. So like when I was younger, I I like to grow from my past experience, right? And I'm still not saying this is a universal type of thing. But when I was younger, I would say if me and a dude was cool and I didn't want him, regardless of whether he wanted me, didn't matter, right? Because I control access to my body. So if I didn't like him, yeah, we friends. We can talk. I don't care because I don't want you. But every dude I thought was my friend tried to make a move on me at some point. So as I, so I started realizing now I was like, damn, they not my friends. They're not really my friends. So I cut them loose. So that's my experience having guy friends, and I've seen women. I've had women associates who have guy friends who they tell me that if he was single, she would make her move, and she's always had a crush on him. I'm a woman, so I talk to other women,
Mm-hmm.
and I had somebody tell me that her and her best friend, they were friends for years. He had got into a relationship and got married, divorced the girl, and now they're married.
Mm.
It's not just my experience. I listen to everybody and I watch everybody around me before I come up with this kind of stuff. And like I said, if it's working for y'all, keep doing that shit. But I'm not doing it
Mm.
ever. I'm never going to be comfortable with it. It has nothing to do with jealousy
Mm.
at all. I don't even consider myself like, I would say I think we all jealous. Like it's a normal thing to be a little jealous of our spouse, having a little too much fun with opposite sex, whatever. But I'm not jealous to where it's like, oh no, you can't go there. There's too many bitches there. Oh no, you can't go out with your friend. Like I'm not jealous. Like I'm not where you at. No, I'm not jealous like that. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think, and it's what you said from the beginning. I think it just needs to be touched on again. It's, I think a lot of people just take the stance of, I know this person, I trust this person, I know what we are, but they don't take the count of their partner does not have any familiarity with that person. They don't know that person from a candy paint.
That's facts.
They have no reason to trust that person. So you telling your partner, well, we've been cool since we kids. We ain't never had an interaction. We ain't never did this and we ain't never did that. Your partner can take your word for it, but it's still not gonna build a level of trust because your partner does not know that person. They don't know the dynamic that y'all have,
Mm-hmm.
it will be hard for your partner to sit there and wrap their mind around it.
No, that's
And
fact. Then they don't even know if you knew that person since you was little for real.
yeah,
Right.
You feel me? Like that part, you know what I'm saying? Like that part be crazy. You feel me? Like I
So
don't
people
know, bro.
picking and choosing now what they want to believe and what they don't.
I mean it's.
What you mean by that, Timo?
I mean people do lie.
I mean,
What you
people
mean
do
by
lie.
that?
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm just saying though, because I mean, like, we ain't never gonna really know that. So I mean, like, at the end of the day, you're gonna have to really believe. We just gonna come in questioning everything that they say
No, I
when they
mean
ain't really give you no reason not to.
No, I mean what Coffee is saying. What you're
Mm-mm.
saying is that you have to have open situation. You have to let yourself in
I
to
was responding to
action.
Butter saying,
Oh,
you don't really know if they really knew them since they was kids or not.
I mean like I said, that's a trust thing though. You just have to trust. Like if you have to be willing to trust your partner and say, I believe what you're saying. Let's move forward. What Kendra is saying is that she's not going to take that approach. She just saying,
yeah,
I'm going in. I'm not trusting your ass, and I'm not gonna put myself in that position
yeah.
to
Kendra said she ain't taking that chance.
she not gonna take that
Not even playing it. I don't. Hey, having experience like that, I wouldn't either.
chance.
I mean, shit, fuck that. I mean, you feel what I'm saying? Because you ain't about to play on my emotions. You
Mhm.
feel what I'm saying, bro? That's not about to work like that. And then to happen twice in a lifetime, that's too many.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
I
right.
think it's as a deal breaker. Like
Yeah,
everybody has their deal breaker in any situation.
Yep, that's mine.
Every
I feel like I don't have a lot, but that's definitely mine.
everybody has a deal breaker, and everybody has that one thing that I'm not doing that. I done dealt with that. I done seen it before. I know what it is. I don't want to go through that again. Everybody has that one thing or two things, whatever it is that they don't want to go with. And if that's her thing that she chose, that she don't want to deal with that no more, that gives her a peace of mind to be like, well, I know you don't have no female friends, so that takes the female friend element out of our relationship.
yeah,
If that what makes her comfortable, then that what makes her comfortable.
Yeah,
And not
no,
saying that
yeah, that's fact.
but that's just her personal opinion.
Hmm.
So I
I
mean,
definitely agree with that.
yeah. So I mean, everybody has a choice. They can deal with somebody has a opposite sex friend, or they don't want to. It just depends. It just depends on the person and how they can wrap their mind around it. Some people can deal with it. Some people can't. And like I said, the people that can't, that's their choice. People that can, and that's just what it is.
So Tyler, from what I heard from you, Mister Off the Top, you okay with it?
Of what?
If your
Opposite sex friends.
Yeah.
if your girl has a male friend,
I mean, like I said, I mean,
T-Mo. Hey,
I ain't
T-Mo.
one.
T-Mo, I'm a friend, T-Mo.
I'm a
T-Mo,
test
I'm
the
a
friend.
friend, T-Mo. She bring me over. Say, yeah, man, that's my friend right here,
I'm a
Butter, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
I'm a
nice
test
guy.
the friend.
Oh, nice
I
guy from around the way. You
I
feel,
pay
you feel what
attention
I'm
to a
saying?
lot
Like,
of
come on,
shit.
bro.
I pay attention to a lot of shit. So I mean, like,
Come on, man.
if I ain't really comfortable with this situation, I'm not gonna get in a relationship with her. But I ain't gonna come into a situation and just automatically be like, oh yeah, just cut this dude off. I mean, like, if she's I mean, if that's her friend, I'm a pay attention to that shit. And if I don't really fuck with what they got going on, I'm just not gonna fuck with her.
Yeah, okay.
yeah, that's definitely
So you just going in there with an open mind. Like, all right,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
gonna
not
give you the
gonna. I'm not.
opportunity. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to mess up, and then if you mess up, then it's over. But until then, until you prove me right, I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna just automatically go in and just automatically just be like, man, just cut this dude off. Like, I mean, it might have been, a genuine, always genuine situation that where what she's saying is true. They ain't nothing never happened. I mean, but like I say, you never know. But
Mhm. I mean, yeah, like I said, I think we all, like I said, we all have different stances on it. Like I said, I'm not really big on the opposite sex friends myself, so I don't really. That's not something that I would dibble dabble in, or put or hold myself in that situation for a long period of time. Like I said, I may look at it and evaluate the situation, but nah, I mean, because I really what you said earlier about I'm your best friend. What you need, so when I'm going to a relationship with a woman, I'm that woman's best friend. You don't need to get male energy from somebody else. That's what you got me for. You
Yeah.
don't need to get that from someplace else. I'm your male energy. I'm your best friend. I'm your lover. We are. I'm all that in one. You don't need that extra person on the side. So yeah,
No, no, I'm glad you said that, no, no. It can only be one.
it can only
Yeah.
be one. Like I said, I mean, I think y'all been through whatever y'all been through, did whatever y'all did, but I'm here now. So, but basically, what Kendra said, if they was all that, how come y'all ain't married? How come y'all ain't together? So
Yeah.
obviously, they ain't give you what you need, so you came to me. So now you done came to me, you riding with me. That's just that just is what it is. That's just how we going. So like I said, I have no problem with somebody stepping in and saying I'm your best friend now. I have no problem with anybody taking that approach. But one of the final things, the last things I got for you, Kendra, because you've been on this show, all night, and I've been trying hard. I said I'm gonna get Kendra. She gonna have to compromise on something. She gonna have to let up on something. She can't just. Thank you, I appreciate that. But she has
Happy
My bad, my
birthday.
bad. Happy birthday,
Hey,
yes, man. Happy birthday,
Aw.
hey,
man.
I
Yes,
appreciate
man.
that, man. But I said I have to get Kendra to compromise on something. She done held everything. So I have a thing that I do with pretty much every female on the show. I have a list of five things. And out of these five things, you have to pick three that three that you would want your partner to have, and then two that you would want to well, let's do it like this. You have to pick three that you want to compromise with, and two that you'll keep in a
Okay.
relationship, as in that you're willing to stay with your man if he has these two things, but if he does not have these three things, then you're like, I'll compromise this. I will stay with you if you lacking these three things, as long as you have these two things here. So
Okay.
let me okay. So what it is, so what it is okay, the first one is good sex. The first one is good sex. The second one is money. The third one is looks. The fourth one is personality, and then the fifth one is loyalty. You have to keep two and sacrifice three. Which two
I
are you keeping,
thought it.
and which three are you and which three are you compromising on?
I thought it
Can
was.
you read them one more time?
I
Can you
thought it
just
was
briefly read
keep
them one
three.
more
I thought it
time?
was sac. I thought it was keep
So
three
you
and
want, I
sacrifice
can only
two.
keep three and
I mean, what you
I'll
want to do?
keep two and compromise three.
No,
What you want to do?
keep three. Do three. Do all right. Keep three and then be like, you got to compromise those two. Keep
Okay,
these
we'll
two.
do
You
that.
got to compromise on.
Okay.
You can keep three. You can keep three of these, but you have to compromise on two of these. And the list is, the first one is good sex.
Hmm.
The second one is money. The third one is his looks. The fourth one is his personality. The fifth one is his loyalty.
Okay, let's do loyalty. I'll keep
Mm-hmm.
money and personality.
Okay, so you're gonna sacrifice good sex, and you're gonna sacrifice his looks.
Yes, I'm gonna sacrifice both. So yeah.
Okay. That's your choice. So basically, what you're saying is that you rather have a man that has money, that can make you laugh, and that's gonna be you're his one and only. There's nobody else, but his sex can be iffish, whatever. Yeah, it's
Let me
all right. And
let me
you
guess. You feel like
got
you
them
could teach
crack.
him.
Go ahead, Timo.
Most,
I mean, you can, but I mean, it's possible, but I mean, it's possible that you can teach him. Yes, it's possible that he ain't got enough to be taught. But that wasn't the question. So, as
No,
far
I'm
as
just
I'm concerned,
yeah.
they're the same.
Yeah. No. I'm saying I'm saying those two that you have sacrificed. That's what if that was a scenario of you being in a relationship with somebody, you'll be comfortable to move forward with a person that they sexes ain't I and they not the most attractive person that you feel.
Yeah, I have dated unattractive people. I mean, unattractive men several times, so that would not be a big deal for me.
Mm.
But I'd rather him have a personality that like meshes with mine. So, it's nothing that he makes me laugh, but he has to have a good personality, obviously, to overcome his looks. And then I'm gonna put money above sex. That's how I feel. It's more, if I have to choose, I will choose money over sex.
Mm. Hey, but we're not surprised because we heard a lot of women would prefer money over sex. And so and the more I hear this, the more I feel like the man's sex is devalued. Y'all women just don't appreciate. I mean, y'all appreciate the man's sex, but y'all just like I can take it or leave it. It ain't. I mean, if it come down to it,
Yeah, because you guys
no,
shouldn't value your sex. It should not be a value like that, because it goes the same for women when you're saying like we shouldn't value I mean, we shouldn't use like WAP as a quality that we're bringing to the table, right? It should not have that much of a significant value. Same to you guys. It does not have a significant value.
Hey, how you say this name right here, Noah? Is what is it? Cougar SM.
yeah, Cougar.
Cou- Cougar Clitties.
Yeah, I was about to say something else.
Okay, yeah, no, me too. That's why I ain't even want to say it. Y'all know, hey, you know how I bossed the name last week,
had to
and I
recap.
heard you on there when I watched it back. Noah talking about, yeah,
Hey,
that's what
but
brother wanted to say.
I see
When I
her. I
called her
see her.
pretty, you know what I called her? She said
I see she also
personality.
said in the comments. She said sex can always get better.
No,
That's
and
true,
that's
but
the one. That's what I was leading to, though, Timo. That's what I was leading to.
but the bag can always get bigger.
That's right. But if you already have the bag, that's what we're talking about. If you
Hey,
already have the bag.
they willing to pay for that sex. They said the sex, I don't care if it says if it get better, get but that money, I need that money.
Long as that money right. Hey,
Get better. You gotta
hey,
have
long as that money right, you ain't got a hump tight. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got a hump right. You feel? Just have that money right.
I mean that's fine. Like I said,
Yeah.
I
Figure
just
something
want.
out.
Okay.
Oh, but before I go,
Hey, Coffee, I know what you're gonna figure out. That top drawer with that silver bullet in there. I know what you're gonna reach for. Yeah, you gonna
No.
take it out the equation.
he gonna be a figurehead at that point. But before that, do you feel like, because I've heard a lot of women say they can fix a man's sex. Like they said that, if a man's sex not good, that they feel like it is stuff that they can do as a woman to make a man's sex better. Do you feel like you can fix a man's sex? Or do you feel like whatever it is, what it is, and whatever they got is what they got?
Yeah. So, I mean, some guys are really good in bed. And the reason why they're good in bed is because they've had a lot of experience. So, for the average woman is going to be satisfied with him because he has so much experience. So, he know what he's doing. So maybe this guy don't have enough experience, or the women that he's been with, just didn't say anything to him. I don't know, but I do feel like, yeah, as a woman, you can kind of like guide him and kind of, teach, so to speak, some things that you like, and yeah, I think you can.
Oh, you can coach him up. You can coach him up.
Yeah, I mean, coach your man, be his cheerleader.
Yeah.
He may not be that bad. Maybe he's just bad because he just don't have a ton of experience like the guys that have a ton of experience.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he just ain't been around the block. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
I'm gonna
know.
read this comment real quick. 627 Levon say looks because I have to be attracted to you, personality because that will keep us going when we have nothing else, money because financial security is a must.
Mm, mm. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think as men, I think we don't lean
Hey,
too.
I like that, ladies. Keep them coming too in the comments. If y'all got y'all list too, put them in there. Put y'all list in the comments. I'm gonna read them out loud. Yeah, my bad, y'all. My
But
bad.
no, I just feel like as men, we don't literally lean too much on a woman's financial situation. Like I said, the woman expecting the man to come in and have his bag right. So if the man has his bag right, you know what the woman's bag look like is optional.
Ain't no, but no. Have you been keeping tally? How many women say they don't want the bag? I don't think it been none yet.
Hey, Timo, has any woman said they don't want the
Yeah,
bag?
yeah, yeah. T-Boy, come on, T-Boy. You
No,
good?
it
Huh?
was a few of them. A few of them said that.
I think it was
Said
only
that.
Danny. I think it was Danny.
Mm.
I think it
Not
was
I don't think it
Danny
was.
from
Nah,
Canada.
what's
Huh?
it? Not what they call it? Pretty crazy. Last week said it, and
Oh, Pretty Crazy
Jazz
Podcast
Mo.
said it too. And Jazz Mo. Okay, okay,
Mm.
okay, okay. So it had been something. Okay.
Mm. But one last question. One last question before we close it out on YouTube, because that kind of jogged my memory too. Were you raised in a single family home, or was you raised with both of your parents?
I was raised with both of my parents.
And so, with you being raised by both of your parents, do you feel like that gave you the kind of the look of how a relationship should be, or you felt like it didn't really prepare you for the dating world when you got on your own?
It did and it didn't. So it did because I saw that, I seen my parents were had traditional gender roles that people, act like they just hate now. But they were like my mom didn't work. She took care of the household and my dad went out and worked. So it did for a lot of in that aspect, as far as like teaching me to like a man and a woman is needed in a household, and the reason why have these dating ideals because of that. But like I love my parents to death, but they didn't really give me that type of one-on-one guidance. Like they didn't say go seek out this in a man or don't seek out this. It was just a closed mouth. But just growing up in that environment, it does do a lot when it comes to being an adult and dating. Because here I am now, and I've told you guys here, like I have a hard time because I am looking for a man who still have some of those traditional values, or not only that, but like that really want that gender role atmosphere in a relationship and household. Because a lot of men these days, they don't, like, they cool with like whatever, like you guys can split up whatever, and that's cool. But like I really don't like that. Like it's a turn off for me. Like I want to be home cooking, and I'm not saying I won't work, but I'm saying I want to take care of the house. I want to cook for you. I want to do these things. um that's what I feel like my place is. I'm not gonna tell other women what your place is, but I feel like that's what my place is in the house, and I want that. So I want you to go out and, like I said, protect the household, be the man, be the bread winner if possible. Like that's what I want. But we live in a world where everybody kind of feel like if she can do this, fine. If she can do that, fine. That's cool. Like I can. I was gonna say I can bend a little bit, but I probably can't.
Mm. So basically, you're saying that you don't mind gender roles. You don't mind the woman having her place and the
I
man.
love gender roles.
You love gender roles. So you're against people stepping out of this. Well, not you're saying that just for you that you
For
don't.
me, yeah, I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. Like yeah, I'm uncomfortable doing anything other than quote unquote what the woman should do. Like I don't want to, like if I have a man, I don't want to have to worry about something going wrong with my car and trying to figure out, should I take it here or whatever, finding a mechanic. I don't have to worry about that. Like if something, needs to be hung on the house, or a pipe is busted, I need you go handle that for me. I'm gonna make dinner. Either you do it or call somebody to do it, but take that
Uh,
type of stress out of my life.
uh,
um that's what I want. I'm cool with like having the kids in bed by a certain time and making dinner and keeping the house clean. Like I'm cool with that. I don't have a problem with that. But that's why I need the guy to fill in the men roles, and it's hard.
I mean, like I said, and I personally agree to you to a extent, but I feel like now as the world has evolved and women are allowed to do more and women are out there more, that women know more now. I feel back in the day a woman was limited because she wasn't taught certain things, or she wasn't put in situations where she had to learn them type of things. Now I feel like women know how to do certain things, or can help a man who doesn't know how to do it. And what I've noticed too is that a lot of men are at fault, well, not at fault, or in position of not knowing how to do manly things, because a lot of men was raised by single mothers. And
Hmm.
sometimes single mothers
Facts.
can teach you what a man can teach you.
Mm-hmm.
And so going into a situation, if you're dealing with a man that's been raised by his mother, he may not know all the ins and outs of this, or how to fix this, or how to do this, or how to do that. But if you're a woman that had two parents in the household, your mother and your father, and as a woman, your father taught you, well, let me teach you how to do this, let you how to do that. Y'all can still work together and say, well, I know how to do this, from my mother, and my father taught me this. We can still coexist. We can still make this work. My strengths are just different from your strengths, and your strengths are just different from mine. So I feel where you coming from that perspective, but I do feel like in certain situations you gotta take what your partner gives you. Like you have to say, okay,
Yeah. How many women can change a tire or the oil
again,
in their
it's
car?
it's a woman came on this show and she said her father, she was raised like a Tom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, facts.
She
She's lucky because I was raised with my daddy, but he didn't teach me how to like do those things.
yeah.
But how and okay, so I can understand that thing, and I'm also not saying he has to know how to do these things. If you
Mm,
listen to what I said,
yeah,
handle
yeah,
that for me.
yeah, handle
You
for you.
you
Yeah.
don't have to know how to fix the pipe. But I'm a woman. I don't have to deal with that. Once I
Mm,
tell you the pipes are leaking, just take that, handle that for me. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to know how to do. I know how to cook, but I may not know how to cook. But since I'm that kind of woman, if I were to live with a man and I wanted to cook for him because I'm the type of woman that wants to cook, I'm gonna go learn how to cook. That's
mm,
what I'm gonna do because I want to do that for you.
mm. Yeah, no, I agree. No, I agree. Like as men, like you can take the time to learn different things to help your woman out, just as your woman can learn stuff to make herself a better woman to help out her situation. The only thing I was saying is just that I don't want to hold anybody at fault for, like, if a woman does know how to change a pipe, that she feel like, I'm a woman, I don't want to change the pipe. Like if she know how to fix the pipe, we can save money, and she could, like, if she took HVAC, or like it's women that have skills of a man. And just because you're a woman doesn't mean you don't have to use them. Like that could be beneficial to a relationship. Oh, you know how to do that? That's cool. We can add that to our dynamic relationship. It is, and whatever I know, like, it could be. It's a lot of men that can throw down in the kitchen. It's a lot of men that can
Yes,
cook.
But
sir. Yes,
see,
sir.
that's
Yes,
that's
sir.
my thing though. You can
Yes,
cook
sir.
sometimes, but I'm uncomfortable with you making dinner every night. That's what I want to do.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah.
That's all. And I don't know. I don't. And so, like, I'm not saying like that you like. I'm not going to knock. Like when I'm dating, I don't ask men like, can you change a leaky pipe? Can you change an oil? Can you change a tire? Can you hang something? I don't ask like that's not gonna be. I'm not gonna disqualify you for that. But I'm
Yeah.
saying once we decide to come together and be in a house, I'm just gonna say these are your duties. I don't care how you get it done. I don't care how you get it done as long as you get it done. And these are gonna be my duties.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Like I just, I just have to be. I have to always feel like the girl. Like my ex, the same dude that had the girlfriend. He was an excellent cook. I have to give him that. And he cooked all the time, but I didn't really like it. But we didn't live together, so it wasn't a big deal. But he actually cooked. He was the cook in our relationship. But I wasn't crazy about it. But you get what I'm saying? Like I'm not. I'm not that rigid.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, like I said, it's good. Like I said, it's nothing. It's good that you can kind of say, okay, I'm not comfortable with it, but I can allow it here and there. That's what I'm saying. Like the only thing about gender roles to me just feel like it's a box. And in a relationship, I don't feel like it should be in a box. I feel like in a relationship, you can kind of maneuver around a little bit. You can make something out of nothing. If my woman know how to do this, well, you do that. Like that's not my expertise. Or if I know how to do this, I'm gonna do that because that's my expertise. Like I feel like in a relationship, it's not really about man or woman. It's about what your strengths and what your weaknesses are. Now, what our strengths and weaknesses are, let's work together to figure out if we can get it done. And that's just what it is. And what you say, like for a man, if he don't know how to do it, if he has some money to pay somebody who does know how to do it, he's handling that situation, or vice versa for the woman. So that's what I'm just saying. I just don't want people to put themselves in a box. Just be able to say, okay, we have our roles, but we're able to maneuver around a little bit to reach our common goal.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, like it's nothing. Like it's not nothing set in stone. Like I said, if he can cook, cooking. I'm not gonna sit here and say I like to cook every single night. Don't nobody like to cook every single night. But I'm saying I would cook. If he's a good cook, I would cook the majority of the nights, and then the nights that I'm tired, since you are able to, you enjoy cooking, go ahead and cook. Like it's not like that, but I'm saying for the most part, I personally like to stick to a traditional type of thing. But I am all for whatever works for other people in their relationship. I support it. This is my relationship. This is how it's gonna go. That's all.
Yeah, but like I said, we wish you, like I said, in your dating experience. Like I said, it's hard for everybody. But we wish you in your dating experience nothing but the best. We wish you find everything that you're looking for. And like I said, you broke it down on the show, so I know if you find somebody, they giving you exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah. I don't feel like I'm looking for a lot. Okay.
You got hey, Miss Coffee. What Kendra, you got a list, baby. You got a list, baby. Yeah, you got a list though.
But but like I said, with that being said, I mean, but if you got any more comments, you can read them. If not, we gonna let Kendra close it out with her social media, her podcast, and where everybody can find her at.
Nah, actually, 627. Levon was the last comment.
Okay. Well, you can go ahead and give them your information where they can find your Instagram and your social media, your podcast, and everything, Kendra.
So you guys can find me on Instagram at Coffee with Kendra. Can they see the screen right here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, Coffee with Kendra, just with no spaces on Instagram. I think on TikTok it's Coffee. I don't know if it's Coffee with Kendra or Coffee W Kendra, but it doesn't matter. I'm sure it's in my Instagram bio. Everything is actually in my Instagram bio. So if you make it to my Instagram and you get to the bio, you Gucci. So you can follow me there. Okay. I do a live. I do coffee dates live 2 to 3 times a week. Late mornings for me, early afternoons for East Coast.
Okay. Oh, hey Kendra, we never got where you from?
LA.
Oh. Hey, you been in the Lakers game? Hold on. Why the hell y'all ain't start the show telling me she's from LA? I got some questions. You know what? It's too late. But Kendra, next time we get you, Miss Kendra, I'm definitely got some questions for you. I did not know you was killing from the LA. Yes.
West Coast.
West Coast. Hey, time out, y'all. We have been everywhere. We on the west side. This side. We on the west side. Yeah.
We definitely moving up.
Timo, what you was sipping on tonight, Timo?
I don't know if I like the name of this wine right here.
Oh. Why you bad then, Timo? Why you bad?
I ain't gonna lie, this don't hit though.
No, it better not. Oh, go ahead. Just say it.
I would say, the what's it called? I always, sometimes ask them with some good wine, and gotta be trying different wine. But this joint right here called Double Barrel.
Hey, now you drink that wine. You don't gotta.
Hey, Timo. Hey, next time, don't even put your wine up there. Don't show nobody that no more, bro. Come on, man. Talking about you drinking on some Double Barrel. Come on, man. Tell the people your social media, man.
Man, y'all already know, man. Y'all gotta follow me at @OffTheTop_media. I keep giving y'all updates on the show, post content, give y'all different topics to talk about. And yeah, man, we're gonna keep this shit going, y'all.
And then we got the birthday boy. We got the birthday boy. You know what I'm saying?
Happy
Hey, hey, the hard and
birthday.
working. Hey, I told him this on the phone, y'all. The hard and working man in show business, man, came to work on his birthday. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
Oh
that's what's
yeah.
up, man.
Yeah.
The
That's
show
what's up.
got on even on your
It's
day.
over door. Yes, sir. Yes,
Gotta
sir.
keep the show rolling. So, like I said, I appreciate it, and I want to say that too. I appreciate everybody that send me birthday wishes on my Instagram and everything. That's been showing me love all day. Like I said, I apologize. I haven't got back to everybody and personally thank them. But like I said, I was trying to
Yeah,
get
I'll
this
be
show
thinking
up.
about
Right.
that too.
I had to make sure that the show ran good tonight. So I will, after the show is over, I will go back and personally thank everybody for wishing me a happy birthday. I appreciate all the love and support. For everybody, you can follow me on Instagram, Noble underscore Noah underscore. Follow I Smell Smoke podcast on Instagram. And like I said, we brought another Lit Friday show for y'all. We're gonna come back next week with another one. And like I said, another one in the books, fellas. Go
Man,
ahead
y'all know.
out.
And man, y'all know me, Mr. Roll 1, Roll 2, Roll 3, then pass one to me. It's the podcast about nothing, but we talk about everything. And we had a great time with our two special guests, Flora,
Mm-hmm.
and then we had Miss Coffee with Kendra. So thank y'all for watching the
Definitely
content. Y'all make
appreciate
sure
you
y'all
coming
share.
on.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Flora, thank you for coming on too. Man, hey, Noble Noah, enjoy the rest of your birthday, baby boy.
Appreciate that.
Okay. Until next time.